Alright, welcome back everybody to Rampancy.net's playthrough of Space Professionals. I'm Narkadun.
I'm Blackstar, and here we are, well, shall we say, finishing up our exciting adventure, beginning the new year by ending a game segment. That's right, we're going to be covering all the joy and pain, the thrills and chills that we've had with this particular dawning event.
Yeah, and I've also pre-recorded a bunch of, not dawning, but Beyond Light story stuff that we did not finish. Bob Robertson is in the chat. Let's get the show on the road. There's bad dialogue to hear and aliens to slaughter. There's going to be more bad dialogue than alien slaughter in this one particular episode.
Yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, can you tell us, is it having any problems? Because our streaming app is telling me that, there's a problem with the YouTube stream.
There's
I don't know whether
always a
we should
problem with the
stop it and
YouTube stream.
restart it or whether I should just ignore it.
I'm
let
all
me
for
know.
ignoring.
How's that looking?
There's always
well,
Twitch.
You know what? It's the Twitch seems to be okay. It's not complaining about the Twitch. It's only complaining about YouTube. So I don't know what that issue. Maybe it's just on their end.
Yeah, which makes us think it's not us, but you never can tell.
Anyway, so the first thing to throw to is going to be this footage I've recorded, just finishing up the collectibles, the secrets, and the Exo Stranger plot thread in Beyond Light. So let's roll with that.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
So this is an area in the beginning of Europe, but not the camp where the Exo Stranger is, but the building where we rescue Varix. And we actually explored this area pretty thoroughly when it came out, but there was really nothing here to find. And so when I explore an area and I don't find anything, I usually don't return to it. So returning to it, I notice all of these, these waypoints. These are where the penguins go. So the collectible penguins that they put in the game that you find once a week unlock a triumph, but you have to place them to unlock the triumph.
Yeah. It was a multi-step thing, and remember you ran all these places where you would place things or pick up things and whatnot. I mentioned it before, but yeah. But
to be honest, okay, Bob says seems to be working fine now. I'm still getting this flashing, but if Bob says it's okay, then it's okay.
We'll ignore it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you know this, you're basically not playing Destiny, you're playing Reddit, because the game never shows you this. Like, you have to get inside the room before these waypoints show.
But that's been my complaint for a very long time about not only this, but also other aspects of the game.
The penguins itself actually don't show as items in your inventory. It's just like you found the item, then you can claim the triumph after you've placed it here.
Yep.
So this is just me placing about 7 of them.
Yeah, unless you dig up other people's research.
And I think if you go to the place where one exists but you haven't found it yet, it does give you a hint of where in the game world to look for it. Okay, so here it is. Basically, I've gotten 0 out of 9 for the penguins, and the unlockable lore cards are like kids writing letters to the traveler as if he's like Santa Claus or some crap.
Yeah,
it's like
which
it's basically
is
what it is. I have not even read any of them.
Yeah. Why would you?
I did collect enough of the points associated with the Dawning to unlock a downloadable ebook PDF of lore cards, and I put it on my iPad thinking that someday I'll have time to read it because I sure don't look for it in game, unfortunately.
Who does?
Right, so the next thing I go looking for is I wanted to get all the Exos, and I think I found 7 of them.
Oh my god, you missed that shank!
Organically. And then I went to breaktech.org and looked at the checklists to find, hey, where are the Exos, so that I know which ones, because the game can tell you how many you found, but it doesn't tell you which. So you don't know where to look to find the ones you're missing. And this one was just in the very first area of Bray Exoscience.
Wow.
3. You're saying I've been rebooted 3 times. Memory bank's been wiped clean and everything. Completely wiped. Are you sure? I've just been having this real strong craving for my mom's potato onion pierogies is all. I know what you've programmed, but why would you specify a food made by a person I don't know and will never meet? A glitch. That's what I figured. 'Cause you'd have to be pretty twisted to curse me to eternal dissatisfaction on purpose.
All right, so in addition to what we know about Exos, that they lose their memories, they need to be rebooted, their name changes by one number. They talk about other memory-related problems they experience, where it's partial. It's like they remember their favorite food that their mom used to make, but they don't remember their mom, and their mom's long dead, and they'll never have them.
Yeah, which makes no sense to me. Don't they have thumb drives in the future? I don't understand why expandable memory is not a problem.
This one talks about that.
Any day now. It'll be time for another reboot. I have all the signs. They say I should do it now. Get it over with. But I don't want to forget. Not anymore. I try to record all I can, but how can I possibly describe how it felt to hold my son? My son? Is this the child in my dreams? The one that says, "What does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God."
Is your son a Baptist preacher? That's a weird thing to say.
Mm-hmm. And apparently he doesn't work at a data center, and cloud drives don't seem to exist.
So they talk about, okay, here it is, I'm going to go look for a penguin. I've cut a lot of this stuff out. This was the current penguin when I reported this a couple weeks ago. There are still a couple of them left. I don't know if they're time gated like the Marasov dialogues. I
wouldn't be surprised.
If I haven't logged in, I may have missed one, so maybe I'll never get that the last penguin or two.
My God, we'll always be penguinless.
I debated whether or not to leave some of this stuff in. I ended up cutting out all of it, and I'll just pause right after I shoot these guys just to explain what was necessary to get this. So there's where the penguin is. But back in this area, way up high where you would never look, was like an oracle. Yep. And you had to shoot 3 oracles in a row. Then the second and third ones don't appear until you've shot the first and second ones respectively. And then way down here, out of the way, in the corner, then the penguin appears and you can claim it.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, you can't see that from the encounter area at all. And it's not even visible until you've taken care of the 3 oracles. What a fact. I mean, seriously. It's like, wasn't even just like getting there or finding it. It was like finding a shootable thing and then shooting the multiple shootable things. And then
you've summed up Destiny.
And place.
In their defense, at least to put these someplace, it is a quick route area. You basically go exactly where Varix is, and you just go into this room right next door. So in the defense of placing them once you have them, it's not that hard. Whereas, man, it would have been terrible if these were all in the northern area and you had to hop on a Sparrow and drive there every single time. That would drive me crazy.
Yep. All right, so then I go in and claim the Triumph.
Which is?
For the Exos, which is 9 and that gives me a consumable called an Exo figurine. And I think I may have cut that out, but then I looked in my inventory to see, wait, is that an object? Is that an object I can actually see in my inventory? And I think it's not. Because then they'd have to make it whether or not you could delete it.
Right. Well, let's not marginalize the 5 shaders you got, too.
I came to Bray Exoscience, figuring I could place it, but that's not where you place. The statue of Banshee is already there, and the Exo statue doesn't go there. So where does it go? I go back here, and suddenly there's this half dozen waypoints in the camp. Also a place we explored thoroughly when it launched. There didn't appear to be anything interactable in here, although there was a clue. There was some like shapes that you can kind of see glowing where it looked like maybe something would be there.
No, one of the things, we put the glove there when we finished the campaign part. That's the first one that showed up here, at least for me.
Yes,
did it not show up for you?
That. I never did it. I never went back. I had already been to the camp multiple times. I hadn't found anything there, and these waypoints don't appear when you just come back and talk to the stranger because you're not close enough. So now I had all of these bits of memorabilia from the campaign.
Yeah, that's the first one I did. Yeah.
And some of them I think don't show up until you beat on a higher difficulty level. I'm not really sure. And again,
I've done that one too, and I don't know what that is.
I don't either. They don't tell you. They don't show in your inventory. They don't, like, when you mouse over it with the gun, it doesn't tell you this is Phylax's armor. This is, Aramis's arm. For some reason, there's 2 pyramid shards. I don't know why there's 2 instead of just 1.
Oh, one would be lonely.
And then I guess if you've collected enough of the Starwart collectible. Oh, hey, Bull's in the chat. Is this
Bull's
Destiny?
in the chat.
Looks some
Hey,
kind of
Bull.
escape room adventure thing. Yeah. No, this is Destiny 2. And yeah,
Same thing.
And you can place multiple. And I didn't know what it from. Like, oh, there it is. And put it under the table.
Wow.
And then you just place some more. Why? I don't know why. I mean, it's kind of a cute thing, but the discoverability on this is so bad. It's like it's deliberately obfuscated, and then the reward for doing it is so little.
Yeah,
and I have no indication what goes there. What do I do to get it? I have no idea. I bet you
I
go
know
play
where.
Reddit. Go play
Reddit,
Reddit.
exactly. I have to go to a website to decipher things in the game rather than the game showing me or hinting me enough for me to find it myself. And I find that sad, personally.
Yeah. Okay.
And more than a little frustrating.
So then I've switched to continuing on with the stasis subclass Exo Stranger. But since we were just talking about rewards, basically I got rewarded with a bunch of these collectibles that didn't tell me where they went or what their significance are or even what they're called. You also have something you want to talk about rewards in the game.
Oh yeah.
Related to seasonal activities. So let's cut over to you here.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have been following our lovely, exciting, dawning escapades, one would ask oneself, what does one get at the end of it? What do we arrive at the end of this journey? The road that we travel on leads to what? Well, guess what? It leads to one Ascendant Shard, one random piece of exotic armor, one random dawning weapon, 322 random old dawning cosmetics, one of the, quote, joke gifts from this year, and one new shader you claim from the triumph of completing the event. That's it. Shader.
That's it, huh?
Joke gift. Couple random cosmetics, which are old. A dawning gun, which you may already have. And a random exotic piece. And one Ascendant Shard. That's it. The cookie collection, the level escapades, the whole dawning event of how many weeks that was timed. What is it, 4 weeks? 3 weeks? I've forgotten exactly how much it is. But all of that leads to these things, which through the event you have probably either already collected. If they're old dawning things, you already have them. A joke gift that, well, we've got enough joke gifts and shaders. So sadly, I personally, from previous dawning events, did experience something similar, so I knew what to expect. But for a lot of the new players, because there are a bunch that have missed the last couple seasons and are new to it this time, this is their first dawning, they're not going to know this. And unless, like Narc and I have been doing playing Reddit, they're not going to, figure out early on that a lot of the effort that you're putting into this, and especially game player time, because that's the big argument that a lot of people said, is that game player time has not been rewarded. No, it's the expectation versus the effort and the time one puts into it that players have. And of course, it varies from player to player, and some people have it and some people don't. And some people, based on previous experience, realize, I've done that, and I know what to expect, and I know it's not worth my time. But just the simple fact that there was also a discrepancy that Narc and I were talking before the stream about data miners that had figured out mathematically that for the rewards you were getting for the effort you had to put in versus the time available, people were not going to make it. The
portion of the event was going to fail, the overall goal.
Yes. And even what Bungie had to do was literally triple the rewards of what you would actually be able to normally get during the timed event to achieve that goal within the time allotted. So Bungie, Narc was saying, is it realizes this, they don't care, and it's not like you're really going to fail, they're just going to dial it up until by the time you get to the end of it, everyone gets their thing.
As they've done in the past for similar events.
Yes, and listening to the way Narc talked about it, I sort of get it, but at the same time, that kind of presentation is not exactly highly conducive to player enjoyment. So that being said, people, doing this kind of things sooner or later are going to get a bad taste in their mouth with them for either one of several reasons. And the way that Bungie has set this up, unfortunately, is that they're never going to satisfy all of them. They're never going to satisfy all their players. Either one are going to be disheartened over one thing, or others going to be disheartened over another. So it's just a question of who you dishearten and to what degree. So sadly, I just think that there are a lot of aspects of this that either they're just trying different things and seeing what sticks in the wall that they throw, But unfortunately, yeah, these things, the way that they're orchestrated and the way that they're executed is just not, they have not figured out the balance of player time versus fun things to do versus rewards that you get for it. And they've been constantly pushing the sliders on everything, trying to, quote, find the balance. I don't even think it needs to be balanced. I just think it needs to be scaled in a way that people don't feel gypped or cheated or their time wasted. And one could argue, hey, games are just a waste of time. They all are. They're things that you are supposed to enjoy. But at the same time, I'm looking at all the effort one has to put in to supposedly get the enjoyment I'm supposed to be getting out of it. And a lot of it, the grind just unfortunately has just worn me over the last 5, almost 6 years, to the point where I'm not deriving the enjoyment that I should. And it's sad that other players are also feeling the same thing for different reasons. And that I hope at some point that it either is altered, changed, adjusted, scrapped, and started over. I mean, I honestly, I don't know what the solution is. I wish I did. I wish I had greater suggestions for it. But just looking at this list, and if people knew at the start of it, hey, you got 4 weeks to get all this stuff, get cracking, how many of us would really have wanted to? Or at least like thrown in and said, we so need that one Ascendant Shard. I'm going to spend 4 weeks getting it. Yeah, no, I honestly, I couldn't say that.
They're definitely counting on having created an experience where everybody feels obligated to play on a regular basis. And so since you're doing it anyway, why not do it in these ways? And then we'll give you some things. And it's not really about how meaningful things are.
Yeah, and to me, that obligation is part of the problem, because I don't want to feel obligated to play it. I wanted to play it when I have time to play it. And that, unfortunately, is not really conducive of their design.
Shout out to Question Jacket in the chat, and also to Phil Mysterious, who says the real reward was the gameplay you had along the way. This is
it was friends.
I want Bungie to succeed, but they seem to be making some questionable decisions. Yeah, this episode is going to be a lot about that. So I'll tell you what, let's cut back to my gameplay here. Now, what I've done is I've gone through and cleared this lost sector, which you have to do multiple times in the Exo Strangers.
You have to do Destiny multiple times.
It's kind of neat in the sense that you meet this NPC in the field multiple times for these little mini cutscenes, and I suppose it's better that they exist than not. I mean, it kind of gives you the sense that
I knew Clovis was bad,
the world is real.
But all this, I'm feeling a little ashamed of being a Bray right now.
A little?
Welcome to my world.
Elsie, Clovis, this is all I wanted. All I searched for. But you've been around this whole time, and I never heard from you.
Not one message, not one call.
What are you
not
doing
even a
here?
tweet.
This is actually why I brought you here, Anna.
Now I'm going to pause that right there, because there's an unusual pause in the video here where they've acknowledged that I'm there, and then the interaction just kind of stops, and they stare at each other, and nothing happens. And it's because I haven't yet stepped into the trigger volume where it prompts me to interact with this panel by providing the skeleton key, which is this in-game item that I've been charging up with stasis energy by doing the repetitive activities that supposedly allows Elsie Bray here to decode Clovis Bray's journal. But I just want to point out that like they've switched entirely, from the cinematic, custom animation triggering in-engine cutscenes that Halo had. Where Halo
which I miss personally.
A 2-hour sci-fi movie with every game, every 3 years.
I want my 2-hour sci-fi movie with every game.
To these kind of like really bare bones Half-Life style interactions here where we've got 2 characters in a space. But I gotta admit, there's something, and maybe somebody with a film school background could tell me exactly what's wrong with the blocking in these scenes. But
there's a lot.
Well, then I'll ask you then, because this whole scene plays out in a way that to me is very alienating and unsatisfying, and part of it just has to do with the way the characters are standing and facing relative to each other and to the player. It feels like they're trying to split the difference between interacting with each other and interacting with you, and none of it is satisfying, especially right here where everything just pauses for me to do something and nobody says anything.
Yep. Well, the other thing is that they go through their emotionality with hand emotion. They throw their hands around everywhere when they talk.
Yeah. Okay. So now it picks up. I hit the button, and now it starts.
This is exactly what we need to decrypt the journal and find that stasis reset.
And you see, I'm struggling in this. I'm like, oh, okay, so the characters are turning. She now turned away. So she's turned away from Anna, but she's not facing me. And
Nope.
Anna there is
but-
not
Okay.
quite facing me, but also not facing her. They're
Yes.
it's like they've literally split the difference. They've like, well, pick a point directly between the other NPC and the player character and face that empty
and I'll tell you. Yeah, and I'll tell you why. One, they cannot take into account your position, your camera, your focus. So the problem with the scene is that you are because they did not write it, or they technically can't have that NPC focus in on your face. They don't know where you are, or they don't know how many cameras are there. You could be in a multiplayer scene where there's 2 or 3 people in the scene, and they can't have the camera focus on all of you, so they have it focus on none of you. So from a technical standpoint, you being the camera, it's supposed to be, unipresent, where you are here and you are the focus of what's going on with this interactivity, but they can't interact with you. There is no connection between their interactivity and the player being there. So the problem with the scene is that you're completely oblivious as far as the camera and the scene are concerned, because you are the camera and it can't take account for you. So that in and of itself is problematic. But again, that's a technical limitation.
Yeah, I could understand it. Like the easy thing to do, right, would be just make both of those NPCs head track you, right? Have them stare at you. That would be comprehensible, but it wouldn't look good. It would
exactly.
It would overemphasize
the
the idea of how important your character is. I mean, technically speaking, I think both of these characters are really kind of supposed to be more important than you, really.
Yeah, but also keep in mind, what are players going to do
from the golden age?
Right. But what are players going to do when they get here? They're going to constantly be jumping up and down in the airs and teabagging characters and whatever else. So what's going to happen? The character would then be focusing on them constantly while they're doing that, which again would ruin the scene. So to fix the flaws, you need to have an actual cutscene. But because cutscenes cost time, money, energy, and effort, this is an easy, simple fix where there's the dialogue and there's a little camera animation with you and a little character animation with them, and that's all.
Or spend a lot of effort developing an algorithm that would say, well, let's look at real people. How do real people move their head and eyes in a room where there are multiple people? How do people, like at what rate, like how much time do you spend looking at the speaker, and how much time do you spend looking around at other people, and how much time do you spend looking at the floor, and modeling a realistic behavior here? I understand that for them it's too much, especially given that, supposedly the moment you said they could make an
algorithm
was
you doomed that
replacing
suggestion.
Joe Staten's 2-hour movies with a map. So this is the Half-Life cutscene version we get of that design.
Yeah, if they could do that, I'm sure they would, but I guarantee you the time, energy, and effort into developing or making that, I'm sorry, that's beyond the capabilities of them or anybody else, to tell you the truth.
For me, that's an immersion and the context. It's like, this is here.
When you finish the algorithm, let us know.
I find it to be here in a way that's unsatisfying. Yeah, I think that's a bit outside my wheelhouse.
It's totally unsatisfying, and that's something that I miss with the cutscenes, because with the cutscenes you have total control of camera, of focus, of direction, of pacing, of audio, of all the things that make and give emotionality to those moments.
But they don't even give you the
completely
tools.
Lacking here.
Like you'll see, actually, as the rest of this plays out, I'm constantly trying to move to a position in the room that provides a satisfying camera angle to make this at least a basic cutscene, and I'm failing.
Well, that's just it. They gave up.
I hate it. This seemed to work better as a grumpier card. I think you mean grimoire card, and it's probably supposed to be a card. Yeah, but you know what? But it is a bad cutscene better than a good grimoire card. I don't know. That's an open debate, I think.
To be honest, I want cutscenes of all the grimoire cards. Bob Roberts says, and
that's
the people just
my
keep
name is
playing,
Bite this channel.
Keep on playing, and yeah. So
channel.
People, Bob has a point. I mean, people are still playing. They're deriving enjoyment from it. They're obviously not dissatisfied enough to leave. I wish I was one of those people again.
Oh no,
Believe me, I wish I was.
I've had some fun playing Dawning stuff and playing the content that's in Beyond Light, but there's still bits of it
$40
that bother
of
me,
fun,
and this is one of them. I got to admit, actually, this is probably the first expansion and season I've bought where I really feel that like you got more out of me than I got out of it.
Okay, all right. Well, see, that's the thing, and that's what it comes down to.
Even Shadowkeep, I'm not sure I felt that way.
Right, because you're $20 away from a full-fledged game. Think about that. That you could get hundreds, if not years worth of enjoyment out, and you coughed up 2/3 of that for how much enjoyment?
Yep. Especially given how many older games are available on places like GOG and Steam for very cheap, where I still am piling up games I haven't played, or old games we used to own that I bought new versions of them.
Not to mention the available sales. I mean, we're about to, next week, we're actually going to be starting a bunch of Star Wars ones. I got 3 of them for $45. I've got 3 of the top flight, games over the last 3 or 4 years that have come out covering the Star Wars genre for $15 each. And we're going to get months out of gameplay out of those, not to mention the content of on the weekend streaming. So for that cost-benefit enjoyment ratio, which sadly I hate that it always comes down to that, but games cost monies. Yeah, that's an argument to play.
I'm going to let this run now.
What we're doing here is extremely important. Stasis is just a tool. We've used it for good.
You're using darkness?
I was skeptical at first too, Anna.
Both of you? After everything it's done to us?
Anna, our past. I thought that keeping it from you was the best way to protect you.
Also here, like, of course, you don't, like, in the camp area, I think your gun lowers a bit, but it doesn't go away. And here, like, depending on what gun you've selected, like, you're taking up a big part of the frame, and it's covering one of the NPCs.
Yep. You are the camera. You are the one putting focus in it. If you're doing badly, it's going to come off as bad.
Yeah. And
if you're doing great, it's going to come off as okay. But, yeah.
And I also don't know what happens here if you do this co-op, because she says both of you to mean the Guardian, the canonical Guardian, and Elsie. But what if there were 3 players in the room? Like, these are instanced, but if you bring in a co-op player, then they are in your instance with you. So I don't know what they say about that.
And that's just the writing.
Protect me. I've been protecting myself just fine without your help, thanks. And this, using the darkness, that can't end well.
And it didn't before. But this time...
Hold.
Rip to you, but I'm different. So basically. So yeah, the story here is supposed to be that this is not... This may be the Exo Stranger from Destiny 1, but it's not the Elsie Bray from this universe.
Yeah.
She came from another timeline, another portion of the multiverse, or whatever. And she's going to tell us what happens there.
Done. Before?
In another timeline, Anna, you were too obsessed with your past for your own good. And I was too selfish for my own good. The truth is, I'm not from this timeline. Where I come from, the darkness won. And I tried to shield you from it, but all I did was drive you to it. I'm sorry for keeping so much from you. I think the best way to help you now is just to be there for you.
Look, I don't mean to be ungrateful, and it's incredible that you're alive. Really. But I don't know how to handle this. I'm sorry.
Anna, wait!
Being honest with her was the right thing to do.
There's also a weird thing where, again, in multiple locations they have these cutscenes, and characters always leave them by fast traveling away. So literally, like, you walk into a room and, one character's already there, or another one teleports in, and then leave and they teleport out. Like, nobody walks anywhere, even though we know there's only one fast travel point in Europa. It's Varix or the camp. It's kind of weird that nobody enters or leaves these spaces. It feels strange to me.
Bob Robertson says, yes. Remember that scene in Fahrenheit 451 where they're watching the big screen show and the characters in the show turn and ask the watching characters a question? Now we have that for real. So, yeah, you could say that. I'm waiting for somebody to actually... Yeah, exactly. I'm waiting for someone to like turn directly to the camera and ask them a question like in Ferris Bueller, in the very Brechtian moment. But yes, the thing that I have is that I like cutscenes because you have camera control, because you get to select the focus, because you get to direct the audio, the video, the music, and all the other fun stuff, and orchestrate it in a way that gives you the way that the trailers do, the way that the teasers do, and the way that the cutscenes do. There's a level of emotionality to it that is not possible in these kind of impromptu, I want to call them like soap opera moments where you have a two-shot, you have a two-person characters who are having a back and forth dialogue. They turn away, they turn to each other, they turn away, they turn to each other. And that type of interactivity, I'm sure for game development is simple, easier, cleaner. We can dump a couple of these things and way easier than it is to selectively create a cutscene or a tiny movie, because that's basically what you're doing is you're making a small video or you're making a small film. Those are harder. Those take rendering time. Those take up drive space. They take up all the different things that they complain about why we don't have more of them. Well, that's why. But here, having more of these, I'm sure from a gameplay standpoint where they simply have the dialogue recorded and they have the characters emoting, that's easy. That's way easier. That doesn't take up space. That's code listings of instructions and that's recorded dialogue, which is just audio. So from a development standpoint, having more of these in them, I understand why they selected that, because it solves a lot of those other problems. But at the same time, you're sacrificing emotion, you're sacrificing impact, you're sacrificing a lot of the things that make those things great.
I think
and in my mind, elevates the game.
I think it weakens the audio though, because these are audio recordings just like any other mission audio that you would get, where like Ghost or Stranger or Zavala or somebody talks to you at the beginning, end, and middle of a mission. And here what they've done is that they've given a room for it to take place in, and they have minimally animated the models of the characters who are doing the speaking. And I think it's actually worse than if you either had just played the audio and you're overhearing it over comms, or if they did the thing that like the old Metal Gear Solid did, or the way Oni did it, right? Where you have like a still frame of a character while they speak.
Yes.
It's like a little heads-up display. You're listening to the radio.
Japanese
I honestly think that would have been worse. Like when you're looking at just a picture of the stranger's face when they're speaking, it's just a picture. You're not going to go, wow, she looks so dead and lifeless. She's not animated. But here, it's like, okay, she's animated, but animated so minimally in such an unnatural way where it doesn't feel it doesn't feel like these people are actually in this space interacting with me or each other.
No, exactly. And that, to me, is what's lacking in it. It's here, but it's not here. You're here, but you're not here. So,
Bull says, if I could teleport, I wouldn't walk either. That's true, but I also just feel it undermines, when I had to walk here, and she can teleport out, it undermines the realness of the space to me. It's a very minor thing compared to the other objections, but I notice it.
In my mind, when you have teleportation capability, it kind of opens up a lot of things problematic story-wise.
Time will tell. For now, I'll keep working to find the location of Clovis's stasis research.
What are you looking at?
We'll talk again soon.
What are you... And then both gone.
Everybody just teleports away. How rude!
Like, it kind of made sense that Anna was staring at the floor because she was supposed to be coming emotionally to grips with what's been going on, but I don't know why Elsie was looking at that particular point of the floor away from me at that moment and then disappeared. It was weird.
The whole argument seems kind of childish and pouty to me. I mean, all these characters are supposed to be, so much older and more mature and seen more and done more, but they don't behave it.
I don't think
they don't act their age.
I don't know about Elsie. Anna, as far as I can tell, is just a guardian like player characters are, in the sense that they're resurrected without their memories. So you say basically they're emotionally superhero children.
Kind of, yeah.
So the next meeting between those same two characters is down in front of the head.
Oh, the giant head. Bull says, yeah, I mean, I was almost against teleportation in Halo, but then they needed the gigantic amounts of energy from the actual ring to perform those teleports. Yeah, well, and they only did it once in game.
We do it at the drop of that. So here we go. Elsie's already here. Anna teleports in.
Anna, you came back.
Yeah, well, it's not every day you reunite with your robot sister after the apocalypse.
See, I'm trying to make a nice shot.
And because I figured if you went to that much trouble to protect me, you must really care.
And this shot is so weird. It looks like, are you guys putting on a stage play? Like, what is going on here? It's like I'm
waiting for one of them
looking
to
at each
break into
other.
song and dance, you know?
You're not looking at me. You look like, yeah, actually, it would be so cool if we could put in a hack or a mod that would let you make the NPCs do emotes so you could do this cutscene with them dancing. That would be awesome.
Somebody's going to hack it. Actually, what's that group that you like that does these videos with all the dancing for the Destiny stuff? What's that group? I forget what
Husky
they're called.
Raid.
Husky Raid, yes. Oh my God, Husky Raid would so do an awesome job with this.
Yeah.
Thumbs up to Husky Raid.
Bull says, it's just proper social distancing. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with how far apart they are. I have a problem with the idea that when real people adjust to speaking in groups, they turn from one to the other, but they don't just split the difference and aim their bodies at the empty space that forms a triangle between the three people. And I feel like that's what's going on here. I feel like they're about to do a can or something.
If they were really social distancing, they should be masked up too. And man, if robots are carrying it, then yeah, we're all in trouble.
And you notice the weapon is lowered in this room, so it takes up less of the frame than it did in the last one, but it's still not totally lowered, and there's no way to lower it. You can turn off the HUD, but you cannot remove the weapon in a meaningful way without using like I did some of the other captures basically by using an auto hotkey script and selecting 2 SMGs as primary secondary and have it switch back and forth really quick, and that removes the weapon model, but it takes away your player movement. You can't move while you're doing that, and it makes a noise, so you can't record a cutscene with it. And the head is also weird in the sense that they've put so much of the neck on the head so that like it's hard to get the eyes of the head in the same shot with a full body shot of the NPCs without backing up and crouching.
Well, his neck, I don't know if you call it his neck. I mean, it's more of a pedestal right now. But yeah, it's disproportionately long here because you don't see the rest of his body. Bob Robertson says, yeah, you should do it like a soap opera. You walk in up to the scene and eavesdrop and don't immediately join in. That would be dramatically interesting. In fact, to be honest, I don't understand why we don't use our ghost more of as a spy cam than anything else. I mean, think about it. He can beam into all kinds of places that it would be useful to actually have your eyes on without actually being there. So... yeah, why don't we have a spy cam in him?
Somewhere there's a big parliament and it's all full of ghosts and they talk about us when we're not there.
I hate to say it, but that's far more interesting than some other things they've done.
Yep.
I do. I've just been scared, Anna, about losing you again. I thought I was doing the right thing, keeping the truth from you.
Also, notice how clearly British the Exo Stranger is here. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that.
All you need to do is be my sister, Elsie. Whatever truths we face, no matter how tough, we'll do it together.
No better time than the present, then.
There really should be a musical number right here, shouldn't there be?
Yes. Yeah, it feels like we're going to lead into one.
They'll have the Exo Stranger sing Climb Every Mountain. I think that would be appropriate.
God.
You should probably do that.
Oh, man.
That'd be a lot of work, though.
Ah, that would be painful.
You brought it?
And they're like, oh, yeah. And I'm like, okay, you wanted me to get up? And there we go. Yep.
You got photobombed by a frame with a rocket launcher.
The whole scene, they don't stop. Here he comes again.
Since our collective passing, and yet my granddaughters, Elizabeth and Anastasia, stand before me, alive.
Clovis?
Yes, Anastasia. It's me.
Well, copy anyway.
Incredible.
I assume since you've made it this far, you've come for my research. Potent darkness energy. This is what you were looking for, Elizabeth? I could never use it. Something tells me you can.
I can, and will, but not alone. We can all use it for good, to save humanity.
No. What? It's not what it's for at all. It's for research, for legacy, for the Bray name only.
This is a bit of manufactured conflict. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Nope.
When she says, literally,
Clovis in and of itself doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I'm going to take this superpower you researched and I'm going to fight some things with it. And Guardians have just been killing things for hundreds, if not thousands of years at this point anyway. So it's not that great a shift to say that's what she's going to use it for. And Clovis is supposed to be a real sadistic bastard. He's done some terrible things. I don't know what legacy or research he's talking about.
Me neither. I mean, who does that kind of matter to when there's no one left on the planet to care?
I think they felt. I mean, I think they're looking at a script writing textbook that says that your drama is driven by conflict, and your conversations should manifest that conflict, and so they should disagree about this. Zavala and the Stranger should disagree about using stasis. Anna and the Stranger should disagree about using stasis. Clovis and the Stranger should disagree about using stasis.
We need to have
since Clovis
conflict.
is a bastard, he doesn't object on the idea that stasis is evil. Mom, don't touch it. It's more, no. You're dirtying yourself to use this on a silly thing like combat because that's silly, or on saving humanity because that's
you're using
unworthy.
It wrong.
You're using it, but his thing of like, no, you should just study it and be an academic. Like that doesn't make any sense to me within the context of this game.
None.
Making no sense.
Bob Roberts says, "Alive! It's alive." Yeah, sort of. And
that is what I was going for.
Why am I not surprised?
Don't get holier than thou on me.
That's my job.
Need I remind it was you who volunteered for Project Exo? You knew the brain.
Excuse me, pardon me.
In comes the Exo.
Like your sisters, or your mother, even your father, all ungrateful and weak.
You were always a bastard, Clovis.
See? And emote.
You stood beside me willingly, even into eternal life. Life I gave you.
Well, good thing you did. Because I'm going to use it to help save the universe from evil like you.
Your naivete was always to be your downfall, granddaughter. Enjoy the gift, and don't forget, you'll always be a prey. Like me.
I also notice now that they've taken away any connection there ever was from this whole plot thread and Russia geographically, or Russian culture, or Russian language. Like when we started off, our first zone is the Cosmodrome, which, you know, Bungie even said was modeled after the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Yes. And the Warmind AI there was named Rasputin, and you always heard, Russian texts being read out near his locations, his servers, whatever it was.
Which had questionable accuracy, but at least it was there.
Yeah. It started off being like some random text that had nothing to do with the game being read out. I think they may have ripped somebody's audiobook off the internet even, I think. And then later they made it like backwards nonsense, fragmented Russian sounds and not any real words or anything. And they named the character on the left there Anastasia. So it kind of makes sense. But then they made it so that, like, no, Rasputin is not on Mars. It's just a fragment and is really somewhere else. And then they've taken it all out. It's like, so are these Russians? Were they Russians originally? Why did we start off in the Cosmodrome? Was Clovis Russian? Was his company Russian? I don't know. I don't know if there's any connection.
I'm sure there's a Grimoire card somewhere explaining it in detail. Unfortunately, it's just not in the game. Bob Robertson said, with the Exos always appearing on camera, it's obviously not a union shot.
Yeah.
Well, the point I was going to make is that their photobombing makes it comedic.
They could have made them stand down or sit down or stand at attention or something. But no, they're doing the same patrol routes that they do in patrol when you come down to this location when those NPCs are not there. They haven't even altered it. In fact, the reason why
you're going to have to script it. That's work. People have to type
was
that.
To block it off. So you can see after I did it, one of them tried to walk into the frame from the right and then hit
several
me,
times.
And so it reversed.
Yes.
And over there on the left, you can see another one.
Yeah, this whole scene, which is supposed to be dramatic and heavy, completely ruined.
But he used to have some humanity.
Are you saying that Destiny 2 would have been genius if not for this scene?
No.
But we're just talking about how they this should be an advancement in the sense that Destiny 1 lacked a lot of what was going on here. They didn't even bother to have these Half-Life style interactive sequences, but I think they're implemented so poorly. I think they may actually detract more than they add.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Happy New Year, by the way, guys.
Yes, Happy New Year, Jail. Thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you made it.
Yeah. All right. So let's. And also, as far as I can tell, the music is also not scripted to these scenes.
No, it's not.
The random bits of the soundtrack that are just selected to play in patrol zones are just what plays in these locations. So musical cues pick up and fade out, not in relation to what's going on in the scene at all. In a lot of cases, it directly emotionally works against what's going on in the scene, where music comes up that's trying to make you feel one way when the script's doing something else. It's weird.
He can't control
When
us
control is
anymore.
lost, it becomes random.
Let's take this power and use it exactly like he doesn't want us to. For humanity.
Anna's right. We have what we came for. Time to take it to the ziggurat. Come find me after.
I love how they're talking about him as if he's no longer there in the room.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's right there. Like, okay.
I was waiting for him to say, I can hear both of you.
Nope, you can't get him to say. He doesn't say anything else in that more. Also, I want to point out, what she says there is,
Nice
okay,
backpack.
fine. Now that we keep doing this, we've powered up the skeleton key with stasis energy so we can decode the Journal of Clovis Bray, and that we've pushed that plot to the end. She says, okay, let's take it back to the ziggurat. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, fine. So the thing with the pyramid is there where we were getting the pieces of stasis power. We need to go there again. Nope.
Oh, Baron wants to show me what you got.
Show me what you got!
There you go, just for you. Happy New Year, Baron.
So we do come back to the Exo Stranger, and there are a bunch of scenes like this. Okay, so I'll stop this here. There's a bunch of scenes basically where you talk to the stranger in one location, and it's one of these semi-interactive sequences. And then she says, I'll talk to you later about X when I found out some more. But you immediately go, and the next step is to talk to her again at this location, and often it's more content that's not voiced, as in they had these pieces there, but these other pieces weren't done, weren't ready, weren't integrated, whatever. So it's like having two scenes between two people in a different location with nothing intervening, which
Right.
always seems weird, right?
Baron says, Happy New Year, folks. Thank you, Baron. Appreciate it. Happy New Year, too, as well. Hopefully everyone had a safe and happy New Year as well. Bob Robertson says, for humanity, I think I might go with Clovis on this one. Really? You think?
Huge manatee.
Oh, they must have borrowed the Mass Effect Andromeda writers for that line.
Oh, boy.
You think?
I don't think anything's that bad. I don't think there's any line in any of the Destiny games quite as bad as my face is tired.
Baron says, yeah, that's just a consequence of poor planning and COVID.
Okay, so this should provide more clarity, and basically this is just again advancing your customization of the new stasis subclass power, which works differently than the light ones did. And it again wants you to go back to one patrol location and use stasis to fight another thing in the same place you've already been. It's like, yep, Crux of Darkness, Reese Reborn approach again.
'Cause reasons.
I'm gonna mostly cut that out.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I only left in a bit of it because it wanted to highlight something else that I think we haven't talked about a huge amount, which is the Overload champions and the Unstoppable champions.
Strange. I've run every query on Europa's history I can think of, and I'm only coming up with a handful of documents. With the colony here, there should be inventories, flight records. I found blueprints, but they're missing information too. Someone had something to hide here, which can't mean anything good.
I literally don't know why that played in that location. That really seemed like that should have played the first time I entered that zone.
Oh,
Okay,
Baron
so
says, I don't know, bro. The line he goes, it's in the walls, is still in my head 6 years later.
It's in the walls, yeah. Or I don't even time to explain. I'm gonna play that line later. I don't think that line is as bad as people say. But anyway, so I remember very fondly one of the first experiences we had with Destiny 1 because I played the Halo games, and every time they tried to add stuff to the sandbox, most of the time I would just retreat to the stuff we already knew, which is guns, grenades, melee, the tripod, and they started to add abilities and loadouts and equipment and all these things, and a lot of times I would just forget about them and not use them. And Destiny obviously expanded that greatly, and one of the things they expanded, which was damage types, right? Now you have 3 weapons instead of 2, but you have elemental damage. You have elemental damage on basically on heavies and on energy weapons.
Yep. Oh, and then after that, they had locked loadouts, which means you really had to think about what you did and how you were built.
So you had the different damage types, and then you had the corresponding of the shield types. And so this is like kind of this homeopathy, like cures like thing, right? Where if somebody has a void shield, you want to use a void weapon against it. But I kind of ignored that very early in the game, just figuring that, like, look, I'm leveling up. I need to use the weapons I need to level up. I need to use my highest light level so that my light level is highest, so I do the most damage. And I think I was trying to solo the Archon Nightfall Strike with a Void Burn, and I was using my best weapons, which were not Void. Until I decided, all right, look, I don't have a high light level legendary Void weapon. But Banshee was selling a blue fusion rifle that was Void damage. And so I bought it, and I went back into that same activity, and especially got to that bit where, like, all the arc damage was in the finale, but the area just before that had a bunch of Minotaurs had a lot of void damage, and I couldn't even speed through it because that Minotaur would nail me on the way out of the zone after I had passed
vaguely
him.
remember you talking about this.
Yeah, and the splat, I think I've mentioned this at least one before. And instead, I fought through that area, and that blue fusion rifle, because it was void, hitting void shields, just ripped through everything.
Yes.
And it was a huge revelation. I'm like, oh, this actually matters. I actually need to pay attention to that. And then they toned the burn down to a singe, and then they added in a whole other class of characters that aren't visually as distinct as the colored shields, which are the overload minotaurs and unstoppable champions that you need to attack with a certain kind of weapon mod enabled that goes in your armor slots that will enable stopping these characters. And it's usually only certain weapon types, so it's basically like you can get it on scouts, SMGs, hand cannons, auto rifles, but like not everything.
When they started the whole barrier thing, I literally started to tune out. And it's funny, Baron actually said, I was so dumb back then, I never even looked at the modifiers for the first Nightfalls. I would just go and tease it with Icebreaker. And you know what? You were a big Icebreaker fan, too. You used to cheese everything with Icebreaker. You will not hear any
complaining about Icebreaker cheese from me. I was a big user of that. We did that Archon strike from the sniper shelf with Icebreaker and did that. You
was an Icebreaker.
I recognize that Bungie looked upon that as a weakness and decided to remove the possibility of doing those things from the game, and have not put in any weapons, I think, that regenerate ammo, at least not the way that one did. And that's fine.
I did not have as much Icebreaker respect as you had, because I had aesthetic issues with it, but over the years I've come to respect it a lot more, even before they fixed it. So
I liked it because it allowed me to keep my distance, because the only thing you usually would have to leave a hidey hole for was to get ammo, and with Icebreaker you did not need to get ammo. And plus wasn't there some other glitch where you literally could switch weapons and you could get your other weapon back, so basically you could get energy and primary ammo even just staying in one location.
There were so many things broken with that gun. So
But so again, they've added a thing here where they have a special kind of shield or ability, and you have to match it with a special kind of weapon. But I just find it aesthetically and conceptually way less satisfying than the shield match. I don't like the way the Overload champions are visually distinct. I don't like the sound cue that they give off when you suppress their abilities. And I don't like the fact that if you're not high enough level, soloing these guys is actually quite hard, because
it's massively
when
hard.
Their ability triggers, they regenerate their health very quickly. And the captains in particular, and the Minotaurs, because they're both teleporting enemies, will often escape from you just when you're trying to deliver the killing blow.
Oh, especially if you
I managed to get, because he's not that high. I'm higher level, and this is not that high. This
and
is not like a
spammed
heroic script.
And you were able to spam him.
Plus, it turns out this is one of those areas where he's a boss enemy. You kill him, and everything else explodes.
Yay!
And there's no consistency about that. Like, you go into lost sectors and you get spammed with trash mobs after you've killed the boss. And this is a main story activity, and you kill that one Minotaur, and everything else literally explodes in your face.
I just hate the lack of flexibility with the loadouts and the weapons with this, where you can't simply apply that ability to a weapon you want or like. You have to use one that has that right there. So your loadout is dictated by them for this activity. I don't want to play the way you want to play, Bungie. I want to play the way I want to play. Do you know what I mean? I've got a loadout, I've got weapons I like, and I want to use them and have fun. And they're saying, no, you're playing it wrong. They're being Clovis. They're saying, no, you can't use stasis for that. It's for research. I'm like, no, I want to play with it this way. Don't tell me how I should enjoy it.
Baron says Polaris Lance is the closest you'll get now. I do like that gun as well. I haven't upgraded it to a current light level. I have not played with it yet. Icebreaker is the most iconic gun in Destiny history. Prove me wrong. Nope, I can't prove you wrong. You're not wrong. Some people might argue for Gjallarhorn or Vex Mythoclast.
Vex Mythoclast? Yeah, I would probably...
That's not even my favorite raid weapon. I would say, and again, I would point to, like, again, the elemental thing, right? To me,
I would say Vex is the most unique.
Maybe.
I wouldn't say
for me, there
iconic.
are two raid weapons from Vaulted Glass that are more important than Vex Mythoclast, and probably more important than Icebreaker or Gjallarhorn. Because,
to be honest, I would say Fatebringer would probably be the closest thing as far as the most iconic gun in Destiny. Because Fatebringer was the most utilitarian.
That they were primary weapons that did elemental damage. You could now do elemental damage with your most common ammunition type. So Atheon's Epilogue and
and it had Fate had such a unique perk set.
Fatebringer was Arc, Epilogue was Void, and the Scout Rifle. What was the Scout Rifle called again?
Vision of Confluence.
Yeah, Vision of Confluence, which did Solar. Those two were one of my favorites. I like both of those better than Fatebringer, but a lot of people really like Fatebringer. I mean,
I'm in the Fatebringer for the win category. Iconic gun though. I mean, it depends what you mean by iconic.
What about the Eyes of Tomorrow?
I don't even remember what that gun is. Right, so after doing that, I got 2 more mementos to place because now I knew this was a thing.
Yep.
But
I know about the placement now.
Yep. Thorn is most iconic.
See? Okay, now, all right. So, yep, I would argue that is a potential.
I've seen people use it in PvE now, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Yeah, so there's the second pyramid. Now there's 2, and I noticed, like, wait, but we already have a pyramid over here. Why do I have a shard over there? And why do we have 2 of them? I don't know.
Making no sense-y.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Baron says Vision of Confluence. His fate never left his inventory.
For so
Ooh,
much.
so you don't know.
Most of all, helping me reunite with my sister. In the dark future, Anna was tempted. And I wasn't there for her. From now on, she can count on me. And when she's ready to wield darkness for good, I'll be right there to guide her. In fact, I'll be here to guide anyone who wants it. The Vanguard
Stasis for everybody.
recognizes the light. Someone has to do the same for the dark.
Now, it's kind of unclear to me why. I mean, like, the idea
she has to be the dark poster child?
Yeah, some kind of reveal about the darkness isn't what you think, I think has been coming for a long, long time. But I'm not really sure how the angle of... It's kind of like what Eris was saying before. Like, somebody has to talk to the dark. And some of it is just that the story is so buried in the Grimoire cards. And I'm just going to have to rip off somebody else here because Cam Lauder over at Loading Ready Run did a video where he basically read a bunch of lore cards. And the lore cards for the Vex-themed raid lair, or is it I think it's the Garden of Salvation, tells the story of 2 characters at the beginning of time, one called the Gardener and the other called the Winnower, and they're engaged in a game of life. The Gardener makes life forms and the Winnower destroys them. Kind of like the way the Hive think that, like, you prove you're the most powerful by constantly killing everything, because if something is deserving of life, it won't die. Is kind of like that, except that apparently across the multiverses, what keeps winning the game is the Vex. The reason why the Vex have this vision of a universe that consists only of them is because that's what's been happening. And supposedly the idea is that the darkness, or the Winnower, is okay with that. They're like, yeah, so what? You make a bunch of stuff, the Vex that are literally the game's version of the Flood, right? They are a hegemonizing swarm. They grow by assimilation of other things. And we've seen it literally in the sense that, Ashramir's arm turned into a Vex arm. That's how that happens. And so if that's the way you reproduce, you're going to win. And the light side, the Traveler, is not okay with this. It wants to change the rules. And so this whole thing of running around the universe, grabbing certain species and ascending them to fight, I guess, the Vex, is trying to change the rules. I'm not sure in the context of that what it means that Eris and the Stranger are advocating for using dark powers for good. I'm not really sure.
Well, the funny thing is that every time we have to come up with things like this, you have to say, well, in the Grimoire, and that
Yes,
to
in the
me
Grimoire,
is
because
the
that's
perfect
where the
example.
reasons for everything are, because they're not in these little scenes.
They're not in these scenes. They're not in cutscenes. They're not in the game the way that the rest of the game is. They're now readable in game, which is an improvement. Now we don't have to go to a website, so yay for that. But for the simple fact is that there's that much story that unless you have the time and have gone through the game to collect all the story elements, that's another side argument, that they're drip feeding these things out of order in the wrong sequence that is only available at certain times if you've done enough gameplay. All of that is just conducive of a story that is not being presented as well, as good, or in any form that I find enjoyable. And it makes me want to have either a spin-off, a TV show, an animation series,
Well, like I said,
some other
the My Name is
example
Vife video
of the
channel
work.
where they've done a good job
Yes.
of dramatizing a lot of this stuff. And
Yes, I want that dramatized in a visual format as well. But that to me is the story of Destiny that we're not getting in it, because they've created this wonderful universe that looks and sounds amazing, but we're not getting as much of it as we could or and I think should, and not presented in the best way to do that, sadly.
Or else we risk losing everyone and everything.
So how is she
We
gonna
have
help
the universe
her
to
sister if she's gonna stay here and help everyone else?
Together.
I think she's going to help her just by not killing her, because that's what happened in the other timeline.
That's a plus.
Like, basically, like I guess that what happened before is that as far back as the first story completion in Destiny 1, which is going to the Black Garden, like in her timeline, those Guardians don't win that fight. They come back corrupted. They come back with darkness powers, and it corrupts them. And basically, Guardians join the other side. She's advocating here for take the darkness powers, but don't join the darkness, because on her in her timeline, her sister didn't just use darkness powers, but succumbed to their attractions in a way that made her an enemy that needed to be killed, and she killed her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, Question Deck is in the chat. Hi, Question. He says,
Hey.
yeah, sounds like a bad way to perpetuate a mystery.
yeah. So, and again, I strongly feel that like what we're seeing now play out may be related to some things that were set up originally, but like this is not where they were headed the whole time. It was not like they didn't. This cutscene wasn't planned out back in 2010 to 2012 when they were mapping out what Destiny would be.
Redcon. Excuse me. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, and also, okay. So the Britishness, right?
I'll be here to guide anyone who wants it.
So I think there in the word, like especially for instance in guide anyone there.
Ready to wield darkness for good. I'll be right there to guide her.
Guide.
In
Guide.
fact,
Guide.
I'll be here to guide anyone who wants it. The Vanguard only recognizes the light.
Okay, so we got a commenter on the last episode, or actually I think one of the first ones in Beyond Light, saying, hey Narc, the Exo Stranger has always been British. Because I was like, wait a minute, what happened? Why is the Exo Stranger now British? And they said, go back, watch the cutscenes. The Exo Stranger was always British.
Oh, do you have the D1s?
Yes.
All right, let's go to the D1s.
This is the D1 cutscene.
The first stranger introduction.
And I think this was
Well fought.
recorded by Cody Miller.
You're here. We haven't got much time. Who are you?
Why have you been watching us?
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. I will.
What?
I know.
Will what?
I wasn't talking to you, little light.
I'm a ghost, actually.
Many guardians fell. Strong ones. But you made it here. Yes, I'm listening. They are here. With me.
Who's she talking to?
Understood.
Nobody even on the comms.
You need my help, Guardian.
Is that why you brought us here?
They brought us here. The Vex. evil so dark it despises other evil.
You're not a guardian.
No. I was not forged in light.
I was born in New Jersey.
But I believe where our paths cross, ground could break. Have you heard of the Black Garden?
We've heard the legends.
The greatest threat to us all lies there. Where these machines are born. Find the Black Garden. Rip out its heart. Only then will your traveler begin to heal.
Can you help us find it?
My path's my own. I can't.
If we're going to find the Black Garden, we need to see the Awoken.
Ah, yes. The Awoken. Out there wavering between the light and the dark. A side should always be taken, little light. Even if it's the wrong side. Too late returning. How many? Hold position, kill the engines, and don't let them find you.
Yeah, I guess it's unfair for me to complain because she's always teleporting out of scenes, but, you know, whatever.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's been doing that since day
Now,
one.
I gotta
Hey,
admit,
Vort's in the chat. Hey, Vort.
Hey, Vort, I played this back again, and I still never got the impression, oh, wow, a British person. Now, the actor
Did that
in
seem very
the
British to you?
new
Someone
one and the
has
old
to
one
do the same for the
is not the same. The original here is Lauren Cohen. She was born in New Jersey. Her mother is Scottish. She lived in the United States until age 13. IMDb says in one area that she has an English accent, but that's not the same thing as Scottish, and it's not not British. And
Not New Jersey.
Wikipedia describes her accent as mid-Atlantic, which is a reference term for a collection of American and English pronunciation. About the only thing in the original performance that I found to be even British-like
Remotely British.
is path instead of path. Like an American, most Americans in most parts of
Yes.
the country would say
Say
path.
path.
They wouldn't say
As
path.
path. They wouldn't stick
But
out their pinky
that's
finger.
almost it. Maybe you could pick out a couple other ones, but I thought it was a stretch. The new version is an English actor born in London. Lauren Cohen, who did the original performance, does split time working between London and the U.S. But given that she was, in the U.S. until the age of 13, and anything she picked up would have been from one of her two parents, and it's Scottish, not English. I don't know. I kind of don't see it. It's technically correct.
Well,
here we go.
technically,
Baron
don't you
says,
hear it?
I have a Scottish cousin. She sounds nothing like a Scots person. Way too understandable.
Yeah. Well,
Look,
I just
Scottish people are entirely understandable. We know.
yes. Well, mostly. Funk is really going to be bummed that he missed this segment of the video. Vort says, "How are you guys?" And goes, "We're good. We're
How
hanging
are
in
you?
there."
Happy New Year.
Yes. Hope you had a safe and happy one as well. Baron says,
So-
"British."
How do we find the Awoken?
They live all the way out at the edge of the darkness. Last place the light touches. Can't we just stay here with the murderous robots?
No, little light.
Don't do that.
And they did try to call back to that, which I kind of
Yeah, they
appreciate,
did.
but I still miss Dinklebot.
I miss
so-
the murderous robot humor lines because that to me was the best line in all of D1. Vort says, "Yeah, how can you stand to play Destiny?" Well, it's funny. We're actually talking about that. This is a highlight evaluation of the dawning event.
We're picking nits. We're picking nits
Oh, yeah.
at this point.
We're great at that. It's what we do best.
Now, here I think what we'll do next
Yeah.
is
What is this?
that
What am I looking
we're
at?
gonna look at the Cosmodrome, because they've put the Cosmodrome at least partially back in the new game, and they've
Yeah.
provided a new onboarding experience a new set of opening quests in the Cosmodrome for players of Destiny 2 who may
That
not
are
have
new
ever
to it.
played
Okay.
Destiny 1. You can pick it up on
Who's
existing
this
character, or
guy?
you can make a new character. This is my wife's characters, because when we had two Xbox 360s and we had the Xbox 360 of the game, we had two consoles up together. We could play co-op. So she played a Titan, and then I made a second Titan on her account so that I could grind for gear and weapons, because she was interested in playing the stories but not doing the grindy stuff. She didn't have time for it.
Boy, she likes creepy men with bad hair.
That may be the character I created. I'm not sure.
I was gonna ask.
How about had a robot and an Awoken? So
Okay.
Let's see. But I tell you what, why don't we take a quick break,
Okay.
and then come back with some Cosmodrome action.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun for all those who haven't seen it. Vor says, is that Dinklebot? It was. We were showing
it was
highlights of
Dinklebot.
D1 there.
Yeah.
Baron said, yeah, Destiny is a very strange point in its life right now. Yes, I would agree with that. It is definitely, I'm hoping at a crossroads at some point that will actually change, and hopefully for the better. Believe me, I have my fingers crossed. Vor says, yeah, I quit Destiny almost a year ago, and I do not regret it. Well, see, I had skipped 2 seasons and went back for the Dawning because Dark
I
bought
also
it.
agree.
So.
I came back to do the Beyond Light stuff, but it was not a snap. It was not an easy decision. And honestly, even after we had done almost everything in it, every time after then, when I sat down and I'm like, I would like to play something. I have time to play something now. I would look at the library, but there was always this, oh, but you could check off a thing on a list in Destiny. And more often than not, that would win until I deliberately decided, no, I have to play something else. I literally had to make myself do it. And I
you got
felt
hooked
better
on
when
Fallout.
I'm doing it. But it starts to feel like it's a job you're neglecting.
Yes, and
Instead of
that's
being a fun
why
thing to play for fun.
Yes, and that's why I had to walk away, because I don't need another job. I already have one, and I do these things to enjoy, not to check
so
off
this
fake
week's I've been
lists.
playing Dark Souls.
That must be fun. I've been getting into Control, and I've actually been doing Last Jedi. So yeah, we're going to be having fun doing those. But okay, so we're going to take a quick break. For those of you who just jumped in, we're doing the Rampancy.net recap of Destiny 2's Dawning event. Please stand by. We'll be right back
Space
to continue with it after this.
Okay, welcome back to Space Professionals. Was it that trigger?
What, no echo?
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Echo.
There it is.
Okay, so I'm going to start a
man.
new character, and we'll go into the new light stuff. But before we do that,
Oh God, no.
let me pull up this.
Oh my God. E3 2013.
Yeah,
Wow.
so this is 2013, sometime in the spring or summer. This was a promo video. I've turned the audio off because the audio is
Yeah, we don't need
me
that.
and Cody Miller chatting over stuff.
Back in the myths of ancient
But I
time,
just
there are
happened
no
to
written
notice
records
that I
of
think,
survivors.
except for the Marie Kondo no vault run of Destiny 1, which we did, we actually don't have a canonical playthrough
First run,
of the
no.
first mission in the game on the Xbox 360 as we first played it.
It would have been ugly anyway. It was on the
it's got,
360.
let me see, do I turn the... Yeah, okay, so it's Cody chatting in this. So basically you had this thing where you'd see a ship arrive. So we're not being resurrected in the Cosmodrome. We're flying in.
Yeah, we're
But
being
there
dropped
are
off.
also fallen here, I guess, to provide a little bit of time pressure. The idea that they're going to be closing in on your location, so that you have to get through the the wall.
But yeah,
we're
but
very
this is
clearly
like a
all
Halo-style
arriving.
dropship,
Yeah.
and we didn't get any of that. I feel gypped. But no, but that just tells me where they were coming from. That was a very Halo-type thing in a non-Halo-type universe where later on it completely changed.
But you're not alone in this world. There's a bunch of other people like you. Yeah.
Welcome to the Cosmodrome.
So let's cut back to this, and we'll now go through and start. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time customizing.
I wouldn't say spend any. I mean, do we really care? I mean, we can delete this character once we're done with it. Oh, Vortney asked you, yeah, what happened with Eve? They were talking before. Question Deckard said, that's why I stopped playing Eve Online anymore. He goes, what happened with Eve? Question Deckard says, it started feeling more like a job than fun, so I stopped playing. And that's my point with Destiny
so
as a whole.
Jail, if you ever wanted to know, hey, how did Destiny start?
This is how it starts.
Destiny started. This is the opening cutscene of Destiny 1 put back into Destiny 2 for the new light players.
Oh,
This is the
you
kind
gonna
of stuff
put
they
audio
don't
on?
bother putting in the game anymore.
Are you gonna
A
put
fully
audio on?
animated cutscene, properly scored.
Audio.
Oh, you're not getting audio?
Nope.
What are you listening to? Let me see.
Is it on channel C? I just don't know if Jail's getting it either. There we go.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure if the stream was getting it either.
Yeah, they were. Bob Robertson says, looks like a member of the Revlon Regiment. Why don't soldiers ever look like soldiers? Do you mean the astronauts or my guardian?
Well, see, that's the first argument I say. He goes, why is he bringing a gun on Mars? What's the point?
Well,
it costs $1 million a pound to put something into space.
Because I think they're there because of the travelers there, and they're not sure whether it's a threat or not. I think that's
right,
the
and
idea
those
there. Although it is
that
interesting
M16's gonna
that,
save
like,
them all.
You go to the monolith in 2001, and I don't see it.
Nobody has a gun. Yeah, exactly. It made no sense to me whatsoever.
We called it the Traveler, and its arrival changed us forever. Great cities were built on Mars and Venus. Mercury became a garden world. Human lifespan tripled. It was a time of miracles. We stared out at the galaxy and knew that it was our destiny to walk in the light of other stars. But the Traveler had an enemy, a darkness which had hunted it for eons across the black gulfs of space. Centuries after our golden age began, this darkness found us. and that was the end of everything.
My theory is that Jason Jones is
But
just
it
a
was
fan
also
of Time
A
Bandits.
beginning.
And that's why the map. And that was Bill Nye as the speaker,
Really?
a character who may or may not be dead and has not appeared in the game for years.
I'm sorry, I found that map more graphically conducive to Bunny Slaughter 5.
It worked. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you.
Wait,
I'm a
why
ghost.
didn't it play?
Actually, now I'm yours.
Oh, the timing's
And
off.
you?
Yeah.
Well, you've been dead a long time. So you're going to see a lot of things you won't understand. This is fallen territory. We aren't safe here. I have to get you to the city.
Yeah, I think the 14's about a second fast.
Yeah, well, it was always
I'm
going
still
to be a
with you. We need to move fast.
dicey whether or not I can actually do this real time.
This place is an old cosmodrome, a Russian spaceport.
Well, it's greener than it
It's
used to be.
quarantined now, and quite
Yes.
dangerous. But our only way forward is through that wall.
Yeah, so the Cosmodrome went through like 3 changes, like where it was very
Yeah.
barren in the first game, and then
Very
when
dusty.
they brought it back as plague lands, they covered it with snow.
Snow?
And now they've brought it back, and it's like it kind of looks like what Fallout 4 looks like if you install a mod that makes more grass and trees. It looks like less desolate. It looks more like, life is returning to the area. Okay. This is why I wanted to make a new character. If you bring in an existing character, like for instance, my wife's characters had played Destiny 1 and some of 2, but had not played on PC at all, and had not played any of the new content, then you get a sidearm when you start. You get Traveler's Chosen sidearm, and you get a certain set of gears. We're all 1050, but I have no weapon, and so I wanted to get the weapon
Okay.
pick up.
Now here's my question: were you defaulted as a Voidwalker, or did
Yes,
that?
I believe the
Oh, okay.
default for Warlock is Void class. The default Titan is the Arc class, the Striker, and the default for the Hunter is the Solar class.
Okay, all right. I
let's
vaguely
see,
remember those.
I don't know if I have other video of this area.
Or the particular encounter.
Let me see if I can
Now,
do another
notice
split screen.
this is as good as we've ever seen this because we
Yes,
started this
that's
in the
kinda why I wanted to
360
do
and
it.
this is on the PC.
Because especially when you walk into this area and it's dark and the ghost turns the light on, I swear to God, now on PC in Destiny 2 is the first time players have actually seen it the way it was presented in promo videos back in 2013, 2014. Because there's a level
Yeah.
of fidelity in that one area that I think
Yeah,
never
we've
existed
never had.
in the shipping game, and certainly not on the 360.
Jeez,
Because
this
that's
makes
how
me
we
want to
started
nuke a
playing on the
character
360.
just to play this. My God.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me modify my split screen.
Ooh, this will be fun. Let's see. Bob Roberts says, "Yeah, it looks like you're a member of the Revlon Regiment. Why don't soldiers
That's
ever
because I
look like
put some
soldiers?"
eye makeup on her. I mean, look, these aren't soldiers. These are ordinary people resurrected by a robot and given superpowers.
Yeah, you are specially developed corpses. Previously
So
on
let's see
AMC's The
here.
Walking
Well,
Dead.
I mean, the idea of... Let's see, where's that
Yeah, but you
tree?
notice the
Can I-
color
can I
palettes
line myself up? Yeah.
completely changed. Or is it just time of day? Is it the fact that the time of day, this is like more golden hour type stuff? I don't know either.
Let's see how much I can line up there. But you can see how... And now, admittedly, that's unfair because...
Yes,
that's
totally unfair.
It's a compressed promo video. It's not live from the game. Even on the 360, it didn't look as bad as that.
I'm
on the
not
left.
even harping the res.
But still.
I mean, you could over sharpen it to compensate, but no, I'm just thinking of the color palette where the setting sun on it just gives it a whole different look atmosphere wise.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
Now, isn't there some little hidden things somewhere here
I
in
don't
like
know.
one of the cars or something?
I'll look. I mean, I never mind exploring.
I vaguely
areas.
remember, or supposedly there was some things that you could find out over here. I can't remember if that was just added during the snow season,
Yeah, I don't know. I do remember it being frustrating here because it seemed like this ought to be a very big area you could explore, and of course you're
But it's
very
not.
much restricted to just
Yep.
this area here. There's death zones all around you. Falling to your
Yep.
death here is really easy. You can't really get to any of this space. You can't, like, that's one of the reasons why I kind of like Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Like, if this was Fallout 3, I could literally walk all the way down that road, all the way
Yeah.
to the end of those signs over there. There might not be anything there, but I could do it anyway because
Not
those
anymore.
worlds are bigger.
Bob Roberts says, "Look outside. These are not ordinary people." Well, of course not. They're floating around.
Oh yeah, now it's trying to tell me how to use my class.
It's telling me what to do. I don't want to glide if I don't want to. And look at that. Wow. It looks so much nicer than 2013.
Yeah.
Easy for the win.
Let's see.
Is there something under the bridge?
All right, so
Oop, no.
the environment.
Hold on. This is kind of
Let's scoot
difficult
back.
to wrangle.
Well, see, normally what you'd do is you'd key up all these scenes in post-production and just have them both recorded and playable on
I know,
demand,
but
we didn't do that.
I wanted to make things hard for myself, so.
We're gonna do it live!
Yeah.
Question Deca says, yeah, the rotting, rusting traffic jam is good. It's suggesting a planetary evacuation.
But all right, so the environment looks cool, but at the same time, you know, I mean, it looks nice, but
I
it
need to
doesn't
get you
seem
back to the
very,
city.
what's
To
the word?
do that, we'll need a ship. But first, I need to find you a weapon. Let's keep moving.
So the other thing they've done is that they've altered these quests a little bit. Now the opening one is pretty close. Like all of this is pretty much the same. You know, you got resurrected. Ghost
curious what's different.
introduces himself.
He shows you the
know.
flashlight,
Careful.
and that's flashlight.
all around us.
Now literally, I can't bring up Ghost. The menus don't work.
No.
Like I can jump, and that's like all I can do right now.
That's it. Yep.
Let's advance the video a little bit there.
It's a risk, but I'll get us more light. Hard military system, check. Frayed wires and rust, check. When I flip this switch, expect trouble. Not good. Not good. They're definitely not happy to see us. There's a rifle. Grab it.
Yeah, that looks so much better. Oh, you're gonna get the
Crossed
first one.
Yeah,
Yay!
see, if you already have a
I
character,
brought you
if you
back
have a
for a
pre-made
reason,
character, you
Guardian.
don't get it.
You're a
They
warlock.
just give you,
Your
or they
curiosity
give you the
is as
Traveler's
dangerous
Chosen
as
first.
any weapon.
And strangely enough, this
Trust
gun is
your
actually
instincts.
still good.
You'll find a way home.
In fact, I missed the exotic version. They brought this back as an exotic later on that had variable fire rates, and I thought that was awesome, but for some reason it didn't survive. Which I don't know why, because I always loved it. In fact, I was so
Baby's first
disappointed
enemy.
you couldn't bring that to the smith and to fix it. You know, because he doesn't actually smith anything.
Yeah. It's also weird now that they show you the prompt for finishing, given that, you know, that
Yeah.
wasn't a feature in Destiny
No.
1 at all, and they haven't tutorialized that yet, but it still shows. Oh no!
Stay focused. If your tracker blinks, there's trouble nearby.
Yeah, see, they're definitely trying to tutorialize all the
everything,
normal
yeah.
elements here, even to, like, here, throw a grenade. Throw a grenade at what? There's nobody
Here, melee something.
What?
Reload your weapon.
He glitched out a little bit there.
Punch in the face. Press the trigger to
The
aim.
fallen are scavengers. Alien pirates picking at humanity's remains.
They say "arr" a lot.
Let's see if I can find this location in the old video. All right, no, I can find the next big room with the hole, so I'll cut to that when we get there. Where am I supposed to go?
And what's funny, because this actually opening sequence did go through several different versions. There's a whole big cutscene where they showed opening panels and all kinds of stuff that didn't make it.
There's a loot cache. Let's take what's inside.
Yeah, like this I don't believe was a thing. I don't remember there being a chest to open in this location.
Yes.
I could be wrong. Okay,
You've been brought back to life for 5 minutes. You're already going to commit murder and now theft.
Now, did this weapon exist? Is this a gun you remember?
shotgun?
A white
yeah.
shotgun called Stubborn Oak?
Yeah, I
Was
remember
it
that.
called that? I don't remember that at all.
I do. Well, you might have gotten something different. You might have gotten a pulse rifle. You might have gotten an AR. I mean, there's all kinds of things you could have gotten, but I remember getting a shotgun. Yeah,
Was it
in fact,
called
this always
Stubborn
looks like Hawthorne's. This was a model that turned into the Hawthorne one.
There are only so many models of the shotgun aesthetically. So.
Yeah, but no, this was one of the first ones, so that when Hawthorne's came out, I'm like, oh my god, this is the first shotgun. Yeah, I totally remember this shotgun.
And I realize this is a tutorial. The pace is, of course, much different. I mean, like...
In fact, wait a minute, what weapon is in the video? What's the weapon that he gets out of the chest in the video? Is it a shotgun?
Let me see. Well, in the video I have,
It should
which is
be there.
The gameplay reveal, you get a hand cannon to start.
Okay, well that's
it's
all
not
right, so
even
that's
a false stuff. False stuff's not in the game. You literally get the hand cannon,
Uh-huh.
and then here, let me
Like
cut to this.
style.
Right. Okay. So
okay. Yeah, this is way
so
early.
you got a
Yeah,
hand
this
cannon.
is.
So this is before the Colossus.
Yeah, the
before
menu's
anything
different.
else.
Yeah, there's so much that has changed. Yeah, this is all way, way, way before first release. Yeah,
In fact, even look at this,
yeah,
and then
the
they
old
kill
style
the Archon
weapon
and they get
evolution.
Thunderlord.
Yep, the
And
old Engrams.
The whole
the
interface
menus.
looks different. You know.
Yeah, everything about it is pre-evolution. No, I'd be curious if our first gameplay and whatnot had anything with that. But no, I remember the shotgun.
See,
I definitely remember that.
Our first gameplay doesn't include this mission. It
Yeah, I
basically
know.
starts with
That's
the
annoying,
next one. So.
Yeah, we didn't think about doing that. I do find it ironic going back to the dawning here. We're literally going back to the beginning of D1.
Hey.
Yeah, you're getting shot at.
Shoot at me while I'm in a menu.
More falling. Hit him with everything you've got.
Whatever that is.
Well, what that is a super in this case.
Your light is strong, Guardian.
I don't know. You're going to need that in a minute.
Let's see.
Yeah, you don't have your exotic that gets you your super back.
Oh, look!
Yep,
And
it's a Nova Bomb.
He's doing the Nova Bomb in the video as well. Yeah, let me play that back. Hold on. Come here, you.
Careful, you're going to trigger the boss in a second.
So, the Jones death was actually scripted, unfortunately, I was told, so...
Yeah, okay, here, so...
I don't think, yeah...
Let's go back and do that.
You can't support an MMO on just the hardcore players, there's not enough of them.
No, exactly. They're gonna have to be giving more than cosmetic.
Yeah, so Golden Gun from the other Bungie employee there. I can't see his name. Oryx. I think that's Jason. And Nova Boss. And Nova Bomb. Not the Slova Bomb. Not the one I
Nope,
just
not the
used.
Slova Bomb. Nope.
The original one, which I don't even remember the name of.
They seem to be pretty.
Oh, the irony.
There's one power that seems to enhance the weapon that the player has, and there's another one that.
Now, here's the other thing. I don't think there's a boss in this mission now.
Well, I was going to ask. I was wondering how
No.
do they end it? And the divide, which divide do you end up at? Do you end up at the new one or the old one? Because the
new
divide
one
is
and
completely different.
The defining characteristic of the new divide is constant spider tanks.
Yeah. So what is it
pushing
like?
forward. I'll locate a ship we can use to fly home.
Wow, this sewer hallway has never looked better.
So they're still focusing on that idea. The idea basically still is that, okay, fine, Ghost has come out and found us, and now has to get us back physically to the city, and for that we need a ship.
And the other question is, once you get the ship, which tower do you go to?
Not the Dawning Tower, I'll tell you that.
Really?
Yeah. And here, let's see, I can show this bit. Hold on.
This must be terribly confusing. But yeah, Deca, this hallway beats that whole rotting traffic jam, am I right? And this isn't even RTX
Part of the
yet.
problem with this is that I have my FOV set differently.
Well, obviously, I mean, yeah, that was
And the
one of the big
original?
things. The old FOV was what, 70 degrees if you were lucky?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Immersion being broken.
Heads up. A fallen raiding party. We're in more trouble than I thought.
Wow,
And
this looks
in the
good.
distance again, the cat
Yep,
comes
it's falling
in,
down.
and those things
Whoa.
fall down, and
We're getting shot at.
what are we getting shot at from?
I don't know,
Oh,
somebody
because
hit
the tank's
us.
already there.
Oh, because the tank's there! The catch is supposed to come by and drop off bad guys, and the
Yeah,
tank's
but it's
already here. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so you are at the new divide. Or
Yes,
should we say
and like
the
I
new
said,
old
this
divide?
is like spider tanks 24/7. Like it's always here.
Which I honestly don't get, but
And I don't have my super again. Nor do I have a heavy weapon. I would like to point out.
you got a shotgun.
Yeah, shotgun against a tank. Great job. But it
You have
is
a
a public
grenade.
zone, which means there are other people here besides me. So like,
Right, which is weird. Careful, gonna get shot at. Yeah, it's weird going through this opening sequence with other players, but they're all level 1s too, so they're all newbies.
yeah, but remember that is season rank, not like light level or anything
Yeah,
else. So
yeah.
it's not even sure that it's relevant, you know?
Oh, we'll make this encounter more risky. Why don't you use your nade, dude? See, at least you got help. You know, we never had help.
Trash
You're
mobs.
doing great. Focus on the fall.
Why don't we focus on the tank first?
Focus on the fallen. There's nobody else here.
Okay, now use the shotty. Even back then,
ship.
these
I'm
were
detecting a friendly
bullet
signal nearby.
sponges.
They may be able to help.
I repeat, this is Shah Han. My Vanguard operation is compromised. I'm separated
This
from
is
my
new.
Yes, they've put.
They're from
See,
the last
Destiny
city.
1 never had NPCs
where
in
are you?
patrol
We
zones,
can
but
help.
Destiny 2 does, so they had to invent
If
one.
you're hearing this, rendezvous at the following coordinates.
Why didn't they use one of the other guys?
I don't
No,
think
no.
he heard us, but I've got a lock on his location.
Like they could have used Hero, for instance, but they
Right.
chose not to.
Why not?
No,
See,
no,
that makes
maybe
no
they
sense
couldn't
to
get
me.
that actor.
Lame excuse.
Do I get a gun out of that? No, I got materials and glimmer.
Glimmer! It's all about the glimmer. Actually, I haven't heard Jail in a while. Is he back yet?
Gale? He said he went to get the mail. Oh, look at yellow bar.
Oh, maybe I had to go out of town. Maybe his
Gale, you
mailbox
there?
is further away.
So, and another tank.
Another tank. Yeah, it totally negates your entire investment in ammo and time. See, to me, that is the short metaphor of what Destiny's doing with this game. It doesn't respect your gameplay.
Now I'm gonna go just for the, just for shits and giggles.
Boris says, I'd stick around, but honestly, seeing Destiny just really bores me. I wish you guys the best.
Well,
Thank
I
you,
mean, that's
Fort.
fair enough. And
Hey,
like I said,
Fort,
this is the-
tune in next week. We're going to
Hey,
be
cool.
doing Last Jedi, so that'll be more interesting.
Now, as a newbie at 1050, I wonder what's in a lost sector.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how much you'll
I
actually
bet it's gonna be
get a
like
chance to
you
say.
can't even damage this.
It'd be
I'm
funny.
betting.
They're probably going to be all red swords. But even seeing this section here after just playing, you know, the first part of D1 is just weird.
You found a lost sector. These are dangerous areas where powerful combatants guard chests of loot. No, it's where you get crap blues.
Yep, I know,
When
but
you see
right
this
now,
symbol out in the world, that means
everything for you is awesome because you are a low green.
True.
Decca says, yeah, new lighters reminded me of the ramps to the start area stories of the Champions Online and Star Trek Online. Oh, okay, all right.
Okay.
There's that
you know what
parallel.
I think it's
Can you
doing?
even get in there?
I think it's messing me. There's a shield that stops me from getting in, and normally you would get through that by defeating the enemies, but the enemies are not spawning. So I don't
you're
think
not
I
even
can
close.
I don't think I can even access this content
Nope.
yet. They want me to go
Nope.
talk to the new NPC.
You
and
need
that's
to
it.
level up, Guardian. You're not big enough for this event.
Yep.
So rather
That's
even
fine.
than
I
killing
just-
you outright or having
While I was
characters over-leveled stop
I don't
you,
know. Now,
doesn't even start.
apparently the yellow bars, that can kill you easily in the Cosmodrome are still there.
Cool.
Although some of them are not there because not all of the Cosmodrome is in the game right now.
Well, yeah, that to me is the
And also
sad
notice
part.
I do not have a sparrow yet. So
Oh, you have nothing. In fact, you can't even
Nope.
double jump, can
Nothing.
you? Nope. Do you even have your second jump? I don't know if they've leveled that up for you yet. Spin metal! Boy, that brings back memories, doesn't it?
Yeah, if I go into the subclass, basically now it's like, no, there's nothing. Now, if I took an existing character, those are unlockable, but have not yet been unlocked. So you can go ahead and
Gotcha.
just open them. But since this is a new character, you got nothing.
Wow.
Let's see. Do I have this area in the video?
I don't know. Destiny used to be cool.
No, okay, so in that promo video, after they kill the tank, it just goes to a promo and it ends.
Yeah, there wasn't anything
so there's
else
none of this area, there's no
after
video
that.
of this area there.
Yeah, they showcased Thunderlord, and that was about it.
Yeah, the next patrol area, we have one of our own videos from the beta. Or maybe the alpha? One or the other.
One of them. We played one of them. Didn't we play the open beta?
We played the beta, but we got alpha footage, I think, from Cody. Or
Oh,
Cody
okay, yeah.
came on and gave us footage he got from the alpha. Okay, now we get a cutscene of some description.
Woo!
Oh, thank the light. I didn't think we had other Guardians on patrol here. Listen, my fire team's missing. I need backup. And... Oh, you're fresh out of the grave, aren't you?
We heard your distress call. We're here to help.
Brave. I like it. Tall order for your first day, though. Doesn't help that I rushed the perimeter scans, and now... I need to locate my team before there's nothing left to find. Sit tight. I'll get you to the city soon enough.
I've made it this far. Let me help.
I get it. Nobody likes to be sidelined.
Guardians are stronger together. Isn't that right?
You sound like Commander Zavala.
Won't you
All
put
right,
her
then.
in charge?
Load up. This is gonna get dicey. But do what I say, and we'll get through it.
We won't let you down.
Follow my signal.
He's killed a
Wow, I
Hive
don't know
Knight
if to
there,
take this
obviously.
as a retcon or just like totally new for a new Guardian. I don't know what to think.
I think what it is the idea is that if you were playing the vanilla D1 as a Guardian, then your Guardian was one who came into the Cosmodrome that was full of enemies and no allies. You had just your ghost, you had to get a ship, and you had to get back to the city, and there wasn't anybody else here. And especially when
There's
you're
a
doing the
weapon in
story
that
missions,
locker.
there are no other
Probably
Guardians
an
on the
upgrade
screen.
for you. Grab it and head to my location.
Now, notice he was also holding a Kostov too?
Yes.
Why was that?
No. So now they give you a hand cannon. So. And now
You
they're telling
moved
you,
up a
yeah,
level.
Power is a thing.
Wow, looks like a Duke.
Ballyhoo's been in the game for a while. I don't remember if it was from D1 or just D2.
No, but
I'll scan for
it
signals
eventually
from my
became the
jump
Duke
ship.
model.
I need you to be my eyes on the ground.
But I honestly think that now that we found another Guardian, the whole look for a ship plot thread drops.
Yes,
And
because
we
he
just-
could give you a ride.
Yes, but that's never been a thing. Like every Guardian has their own ship, and they
Right,
never
apparently there's
travel
only room for
together.
one. Makes no sense. Now we have to teach you how to crouch.
Yes, now I'll teach you how to crouch.
Crouch teaching. You have now officially crouched.
Something's causing interference. My scanner's shot. We might be doing this the old-fashioned way.
Analyzing. I've got
So,
a
you
source
see
for
what happened
interference. Let's check it out.
There was a ship that went by.
Yes, a ship flew off from this area over here where there's
Isn't
a
this supposed to be one that's
ship.
crashed?
Yes. So the canonical explanation of what goes on now is that Shah Han's ship crashed over here, and then he took it away just now. It flies off from this area. It rises from this crash site, and now it's gone.
So wait a minute, so that's supposed to have been his ship?
I
From
guess
back in
now.
the day?
I mean, obviously it couldn't have been back then, but it is now.
Well, that's just it. Okay, so all this is doing is confusing me. Seriously. It's
Yeah,
just,
now let me see if I have
huh?
another one of our videos that's in this area here.
But see, the thing is that new players that wouldn't be privy to any of this, it wouldn't confuse them at all. They would think this is how it went, when it didn't. It went completely different.
For them, it did. I mean, this is all a multiverse, right?
Yeah, it even fires like Duke.
Yeah, it does.
Even reloads like Duke. It's his Duke! Well, here we are, plinking level 2s and, I'm sorry, what level though? 6s? What, 4s? I can't even read the numbers, they're going so fast. Oh, what, did he commit suicide? What was that?
Get me closer to that antenna.
All right, they want me to scan a thing. I just want these guys to die. No, they don't even have numbers. They don't show
I'm wondering,
numbers.
I couldn't
No,
even
it's
tell.
a little fallen symbol.
Oh, alright. That makes me feel better.
All right, so this was usually a fast travel spawn point here.
Right. Well, the spawn point was over at the other ridge. Yeah,
So
that's where you would beam in. Yep. This is where you would normally supposed to come in. Ta-da! This is how D1 started.
Yeah, and let me lower my FOV.
Well, yeah, you're at
What do you
max.
think the original was? Was that 75? Was that what it was?
72, actually, I think.
72. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I can judge that.
Does it go that low?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was 72. Yeah, does that look normal?
Okay, so now let's see.
We're actually trying to replicate. Now make it really fuzzy and turn the res down to nothing, and then it'll look like the 360. Question Deca says, yeah, it's a danger in all MMO games face, you know, the quote evolving world, invalidating or changing far beyond what the original intro covered, either in gameplay or story. So Blackstar, it's half and half, you know, it's both a retcon, but also just a new story for new Guardians. Well, see, that I understand, because certain people who are coming in who have never played D1, who have never gone through all the stuff that we have, their experience is not only going to be totally different, but they're coming in at a different entry point where all that evolution has already taken place. So that's a given. But when incorporating this, you know, they did run into a bunch of different things, and the way around that is to take that same introduction at a different point in time in the game, which is why introducing a different character at a different point doing a different thing I'm fine with. What was weird is them at that point now going back and crashing a ship in an area where there was a crashed ship already before that had crashed, suddenly not be there because it suddenly took off again. Huh? That's breaking the fix they just made. Hence the confusion. So if they had come back and there was no crash ship where it was gone and it you know made sense that it had already been recovered or retrieved, that again would have made sense because we've already passed through several seasons, we've gone through a winter phase, we're back down into a spring or summer phase, and now you're in a new character at a new time doing new things. That's fine. That does make sense for new players where their new beginning is different than our new beginning. But now them to do this with the ship taking off and... Huh? That is just confusing to me. That rhyme or reason makes no sense to me at this stage. If you simply came back and there was a giant gaping hole here, that would have made sense. Whereas if you look at the original video, there was a whole ship here, there was a whole mission about recovering data from it, there was this whole big thing, and now you just saw it take off when you came over here? Okay. It would have made more sense if you were to do something for this guy to finally get a thing to repair his ship so he could then take it off. That would have made sense.
Oh, if you object to that, you're really gonna like what happens next.
No, I'm not object to it. I'm just confused.
Well, again, I mean, nobody doing this. Put it this way: if you select new light from the like old quest menu in the tower, you get a different version of this. This is the version you get if you're a fresh character. So basically, for these characters, like D1, like it doesn't exist.
Right, exactly. This is your total introduction to a brand new game you've never played.
It's been spliced in here. That's scrambling your scans.
Fallen can't resist tinkering with old scrap.
They're certainly skilled at it. This will take a minute to fix.
So this is just an excuse where we're gonna spawn some enemies at you while you guard goes for a thing.
Oh god, no, not a defend. We've got to defend the area. Don't move from this spot. Now we throw things at you.
Use a rift, idiot! Fine, whatever. Actually, to be honest, they do have to remind me to use my rift because I always forget. So, good on the game there, I guess.
Oh, that just shows that you haven't evolved yet.
Like, when I play Hunter, nobody has to remind me to dodge because it reloads. You know, it reloads when you need to reload, and that's a thing. And, like, help from a rift, like, never saves you. It just never saves you.
No,
if you
because you always use it at a
to
point where it's
you,
already too late.
You are just going to die. Signal restore.
Yep. Because people think of it as a save, not as a prep.
Personal locations are nowhere near each other.
And then they despawn.
Unless things got real bad. I'll track Cass. You find Maeve. Sending coordinates now.
Gesundheit.
Yeah. So the idea here is we're looking for the missing members of his fire team. Do we have a... No, we still don't have a Sparrow. So just like in the original game...
We gotta hoof it.
We gotta walk. Now. Bottom half of your head. Yes, fine.
Yeah, Guardian abilities, hello.
Yeah, so we're going over there. But before that, I want to look...
Oh, you're gonna go down the hole?
Yeah,
you're gonna run into
go
some
down
bad
the
guys.
hole.
Wow, can't remember how many times we went down this hallway. In the dark.
Yep.
Ah, sewers. You missed it.
Did I?
Yes, you did. Come on, oh my god, you went down one hallway and you were already lost. No, go back the way you came. You've already passed it by like 50 feet. Keep going. Keep going. And bang a left.
Oh, right. Okay, there we go.
There you go. Is anybody here? You.
No, I think if you come here and patrol, they're here. But I think in this mission, they're not here.
They're not here yet.
There used
Okay,
to be
now is there a chest?
higher than average level enemies here.
Yep.
No, there doesn't appear to be a chest.
There used to be a chest here. I've been chest gypped.
Now, do I have any of this area in the video? Let me look.
That'd be an interesting point. Not to mention, isn't there a scannable in the mission down here? Wasn't there part of the mission when you had to come down here and scan something or repair something on that conduit?
That's in the other half of it. Hold on.
Yeah.
It's so weird playing with such a narrow FOV now. I just can't.
Well, see, you get used to it. You know, you're so spoiled. But now you understand how incredibly frustrating it was for me, you know, in the old school levels. Not to mention, doesn't your running feel so much slower?
Yes. Yeah, I'm ridiculously slow right now.
Yep. Well, not that you are ridiculously slow. It feels ridiculously slow.
Oh, well, I think the 30 mobility. I mean, I am ridiculously slow. I mean, all of these armor specs are
right, but the FOV being so narrow incredibly amplifies that slowness.
And there's nobody in here, and I think I have.
That's refreshing.
I have some footage in here.
Because there was a farmable fallen encounter back in the day back here.
Yep.
Yeah, can you go full screen on that?
Yep.
Yeah, this is the old map sequence. And you go down and scan it. Oh man, look at that. Level 4. Narc's level 4. This is when you were a Titan. What we really need to find is a warp drive. Now the map's in high res. Wow, and this was, what, technically 7 years ago? Almost 8. We're already in 2021.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we are in 2021.
No, I mean, as far as the gameplay was released last year, so... I mean, this whole segment and whatnot for the new light stuff and everything was 2020.
All right, so now let's go do what they want me to do.
Which is hoof it across the Cosmodrome to go find this guy's fire team, which, in my mind, what does he need us for? Can he use a radio like a normal person? Hop off a flare? Set a beacon? Call the tower? Uber? Come on.
Myths say the Fallen once lived in the Traveler's grace, but something happened. The Traveler left them, and that brought ruin to their civilization. They've come all this way chasing what they lost, hoping to get it back, or take it from us.
Which, if that was the case, why can't they take over the final city to get to him? That's what I don't get.
They tried. I mean, that's literally what the Battle of Six Fronts is about, is the Fallen attempting to try and take the city, and they failed.
Why? It doesn't seem that hard. I mean, the Cabal did it.
Fair question.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, what the hell? You guys can't get their shit
And
together?
it is, I believe also the idea that Fallen used to be a client race of the Traveler, like, you get that information here far earlier than you ever would have had as a D1 player.
Oh yeah, I mean that was like
that's
supposedly
something
a
to find out.
big
Like
reveal
what, House
later.
of Wolves expansion? I mean, does that
Yeah.
come across in the vanilla game at all? I'm not sure.
It might have been alluded, but you know, again, it didn't resonate, not as far as its importance or its
also,
reveal.
D1 Cosmic
Pikes for the
did not
first
have
time.
heavy pikes.
No. Yeah, my God. Yeah, we did not have any of this thing back in the day. So right now you are uber spoiled. So this, I guess, is supposed to be in lieu of getting a Sparrow.
I guess, yeah. But I'm pretty sure the original games give you a Sparrow long before you ever have a chance to ride a Pike. Although again, in the Cosmodrome in Skywatch, I think there is a roving band of Pikes.
Yes.
Random event. So if you could kill their pilots without destroying the Pikes, you could have them. So.
In fact, I remember our first encounter here. I was so thrilled at defeating the captain and the two guys that were here, and then totally disappointed that 5 seconds later they'd simply respawned. That was the first introduction to, wow, I'm not really making any progress here.
Yeah. Okay, my video doesn't have footage of that because literally that mission was the go and get the warp drive for the ship, and then you go to the tower and the speaker. So basically,
and then you get out
in
of
the
there.
vanilla game, you would go to the tower before the game brings you here.
Yep, and now there's no
Looks like
speaker
the
to
Fallen
meet.
want to keep us out.
Nope.
So
Keep something
Just
in.
Zavala.
There's worse than dregs in old Russia.
Let's check out the control unit.
Check out the control unit.
yeah.
This is locked down with adaptive encryption. We'll need access keys to bypass it.
Oh no.
The Fallen salvagers might have some.
Oh, you mean we gotta go back down there?
Yep.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Welcome to D2. Go back the
Thanks
way
a
you
lot,
came.
Ghost.
And do the thing you already did several times. I gotta say though, I like this new style introduction. I just wish it didn't have a couple incongruities. But it's kind of interesting that for some players, this is what their entire introduction to the game is.
You're gonna regret jumping down, man.
Yeah,
Stayed up
seriously,
there.
my
I was
God,
gonna
his
ignore you if you'd
knees.
stayed up there.
Yeah. It's like, excuse me, they use heavy pikes. They know how powerful heavy pikes are, and this guy literally decided to hoof right down the nose cannons of a heavy pike. I mean, it's ballsy. Stupid, but ballsy.
That's one key. We need 2 more.
'Cause, yeah. Who doesn't lock their stuff with more than 1 key?
We need to go to the forest and kill some boars.
I mean, I had to start my Honda the other day, and I had at least 3 keys I needed to use.
I think this is your introduction to servitors, I guess, because you haven't seen one up until now.
Well, if you never played the game, then yeah. I mean, this is an introduction to all the new bad
look,
guys.
This mechanic now.
Oh yeah, this is an
So
old,
orbs
you know,
and depositing
D2
and the
mechanic,
shields,
but non
and then you're
D1
good.
mechanic at all.
Yep, no, not at all. Like when does the orb dunking come in? It's what? It's King's Fall, right?
King's Fall, yeah. That was a King when they started doing the basketball thing. Remember the basketball court? That's where they got the
exactly.
idea
So
for
The
it.
dunking orbs is a raid mechanic that doesn't get involved until like one of the later expansions.
Yeah, that was the 3rd one. See, you actually
don't know if
use
I've
those
ever felt
bouncing grenades. I've
that
never
those
saw the
grenades
point.
Do anything? Do they do anything? Are they
No.
effective at all?
They
Have they ever
simply
been?
it's like deploying a loose cannon. Why would you? All it does is make something terribly confusing and painful. We're playing basketball. Come on, download the key.
That's all the keys we need. I should be able to break the encryption now.
It's funny, we didn't need a key for the heavy pike.
You up there, you get to live.
Oh, you're not gonna take the shortcut.
No, I never do. I always like taking the curve. Although, to be honest, it's less fun than on a Sparrow because this thing is so slow.
Yeah. Is there somebody here?
They're in the cave.
Oh,
underground.
yeah, they're in the cave downstairs. Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna
hidden
leave them
cave.
alone. I don't care.
I wonder if Bungie was disappointed that people didn't go down there more often.
Shaw, you were right about this barrier. The Fallen were keeping the Hive at bay.
The Maeve is in more trouble than I thought. You need to hurry.
Do I?
Well, I don't need to hurry.
Do I really?
Okay, now, so this technically is your introduction to the Hive.
Yes. So
Whereas
now
before it was a different
we're
spot.
We're combining into one long thing. The stuff where you got the ship and got the drive for the ship, and then went in and met the Hive.
Wow. It's almost like D1 on Fast Forward. They're trying to compress so many encounters.
Now, you'll be
Now,
thinking,
this is different.
Wait a minute.
This used to be
didn't
a
exist.
door.
What's going
This
on
is
here?
a powerful surge of arc energy. Whatever's causing it, even transmats won't get through right now.
Alright, so no fast travel. And by the way, in case you're wondering,
Yeah, don't get too close, you're gonna die.
it kills you.
I knew that.
I just wanted to
They would have put that there if you didn't.
definitively. So yeah, so that was not there in the original game. That was just a wall,
Oh,
and
now you got a new
it's
cubby hole.
some kind of arc jiggery pokery that's causing a problem.
An open conduit. But now there's no door in front of here, so it's completely open. Hello, nasty hallway. We remember you.
Hive contact.
Okay, so the encounter's in the same spot.
Yes.
Okay. But we didn't need to unlock a door, and there's that weird Arc of Death room. Hold on, wait your turn, I gotta reload. Now, also, he doesn't have a number 2. He has a Hive little icon next to his name. Oh, a little Hive
They
rune,
don't
okay.
they don't do numbers anymore. They basically, it's like a sword icon or a question mark if it's too high for you.
Guardian, I can't bring you back if you die here.
Now that's an interesting. That's a new introduction to that.
Yes.
Yeah, that was never really announced the same way in the old one.
I don't think any of the earlier missions have darkness zones in them. You get those in Strikes and other places, but I'm not sure that story missions ever had darkness zones.
And the Lost Sector, they banished you from one, so...
Oh, they really want me to use my super too.
Yes. Remember, this is super ability training. Take that, you nasty monster. You get more of the same. Now, finishers! That's new. Zintek. Boy, I could have used my super there.
Yeah. So instead of...
There may still be light left in her ghost. No.
So instead of a random, that wizard came from the moon thing, we have a named wizard here who supposedly was absconding with Shawhan's fire team member, and there's a broken ghost.
Shaw, I'm sorry. We were too late.
I was too. Cass, I couldn't get to him in time.
There was a hive wizard, a powerful one. We tried.
This isn't on you. You did what you could.
We have the remains of her ghost.
She'd appreciate that. You should just head to camp before that wizard comes back.
So that's introducing the idea of kill a ghost and you can kill a guardian permanently, like way earlier. And because that doesn't come in until Cade dies, I think.
Bob Robertson asks, is there a weapon called prednisone for use against the hive?
And also notice that's kind of weird. So like what it's done now is it ended that activity and it went to black screen and then it respawned me in a slightly different area. In fact...
Wow, that's weird.
You're trapped.
Okay.
The door doesn't open, and there's a wizard there, like the normal red bar wizard that would be in this area. But these gates don't open.
But you still got a gun.
Yeah, I still got a gun. I can shoot them through there. But literally, you have no choice now but to fast travel out of this location.
Really?
Yeah, it wants you. This is to tutorialize fast travel.
So that's annoying. I was looking forward to a mission.
Is to meet this guy at his camp, and you do that by traveling to this landing zone, which is moved from where it used to be over here. It's now over here on the doorway between the step and the divide.
Bob Robertson asks, so if someone never played Destiny before, decided to start playing, this is how it would start.
Yep.
Yes.
If you decide, hey, Destiny 2 is free, I want to see what it's about, you download, 95 gigabytes from Steam, and this is what you get.
Yep, and it is vastly different from the original, as far as an introduction.
I still have no heavy weapon.
Nope. But see, that explains this character being here, because when we started playing this and showed up here and we're like, who the F is this? We had no clue. So, all right, this makes sense. It almost makes me wish they had figured out some way to incorporate that first mission in with older players, where you were like going to help one out or something, That at least would have explained the character and what's going on and why he's here and everything else. But until you did do that, it's a complete WTF moment.
And I think also this chest is also here to aspire to, because they're like, hey, there's something neat in there.
Need glimmer.
Play long enough to get 20,000 glimmer, and you can see what it is.
Oh, wow. Okay, all right.
It's a blue. It's not a big.
So it's nothing uber fancy. So don't get hopes up.
Even the light has limits. Sometimes you don't come back. That hive you saw was a powerful wizard named Navota. Didn't expect to run into something that strong, and I wasn't prepared. Now it's too late. Maven Cass knew the risks. Best way to honor them is to finish the job. There's a Golden Age relic, a superconductor, in a sealed chamber nearby. Vanguard says we can make a weapon out of it. Problem is, the superconductor is overflowing with arc energy. Can't even get near the place, much less break the lock.
That's the hole in the
We
wall.
need to find a solution.
Yeah.
And something tells me our fallen neighbors know a thing or two about the infrastructure here.
Was it Infrastructure Week again?
These were my fire team's assignments. They're yours now. Go shake the tree, we'll see what falls out.
Probably some nuts. Okay, so he gives us a sniper. And oh yeah,
You can
okay,
get
here, so it's
chaperone
like
if you want.
Yeah, exactly. You can get an exotic quest, but only if you pay for the game. I'll just
Affirmative.
take these because whatever. Who cares?
Because reasons.
Because the game punishes you for not taking them.
Yeah. I was never a fan of that.
All right.
Oh, and now they want to show you quests. This is where the quests are.
Defeat Fallen in the Divide to recover data scraps. Clear the lost sector. Okay, so now we're gonna do this bit. It's like again, if you're an
And let
existing
your
player,
fetch quest
this
begin.
This is the bit you get.
This is what you get.
I want to
unlock your frame rate. It looks a little jittery.
Oh really? I
Well,
turned,
you might be locked
I turned
at
the lock
60.
on because it was causing tearing in the cutscenes.
We can't have that.
It was really unpleasant. Yes.
Oh, tell me about it. In fact, I was fighting with the new Star Wars games trying to fix that. You won't believe what I had to go through trying to get that to not tear.
I think I'll go back to 105 now. I think
Yeah, it would probably look
made our
prettier.
point.
Yeah, it's a little smoother. I mean, you got sync on anyway, but... And it's funny, because the FOV also changes with those, I think. Now you got more room to perform them, whereas before it was, like, way closer. But yeah, you see, you know, with the speed and the motion and the look, I mean...
the apparent speed.
Yeah, the
do I have
field
a
of view is
sparrow?
just so
I
much
still
better.
don't have a sparrow. Man.
No. Where is your first sparrow encounter?
I don't. I'm guessing not until the tower. I'm guessing you have to buy one from Amanda, probably.
Wow. Hey, Funk's in the chat. Hey, Funk. He says, oh shit, they
Funk.
doing new light? Man, I can't see. Just on Discord for a minute.
Oh, are you dropping off a tank? It's gonna drop a tank on light.
Yeah, Funk, we were just wrapping up the Dawn highlights, and yeah, Funk, we were hoping you'd been here earlier for the linguistic portion of the video. But sadly, yeah, Narc decided to do the first mission if you had never played this.
We were making fun of Elsie Bray's accent.
Extensively. Or shall we say their choice of actresses that they picked and changed for some strange reason.
Alright, now it's already highlighting the lost sector to me, so maybe I don't need to kill any trash mobs here. Maybe I can just go straight in.
Hey, maybe you should kill that tank.
Really? You got nobody else to shoot at? You gotta shoot at me over here?
Yes, of course. Actually, can you even get in here now?
I
Are
should
we still
be able
too?
to, yes.
I think we're too low leveled still. You're not even in the 60s yet.
I think 1060 is the recommended. I'll figure out a way.
Where you at? Yeah, you're 54. You're not even there yet.
It's 1056. Just had to
That's
equip
still
the
not
weapon.
60.
I know.
He's gonna die. That's assuming you can get in. Oh, wait, I'm hearing baddies. Oh, there they are. All right, so at least they're spawning. They weren't even spawning before.
Not a great sniper.
Well, it's a blue. You gotta hit your crits.
I'm trying.
Try harder. Get good, scrub.
Hey, look.
There you go.
Not
That's much
the
better.
Dark Souls stream.
Yeah, we'll have to do that at some point. That would be fun.
We're not talking about how I had to summon Solaire to beat the Bell Gargoyle. We're not talking about that.
No, we would never bring that
We're
up.
not talking about how the dogs in the Capra demon encounter are unfair.
What are you talking about? They're perfectly balanced. I love it. He's resorted to punching things. You always know you have the best gun when you have to resort to punching your targets. Don't reload in the open. There you go. Ah! Right in the guts. Is it sad that I found you going through this first mission from a whole new perspective more interesting than the entire Dawning event?
No, because frankly, I found it so too.
Okay, alright, so we're in the same boat.
We'll cap this off from one of my favorite missions from D1, because we're going to push until I get to that before we stop.
I was gonna ask if you were literally gonna push until we get to that.
It doesn't take as long as it does in the original game, but
I was wondering how much they compressed.
They significantly altered the context around that event in a way that I don't entirely like.
Really? I figured there would have been some necessities. I figured they would have had
what
to.
They've done to that when we get there.
You know, it makes me wonder though, if it would have been interesting enough, like if year 2, 3, 4 players, you know, when coming into this new, if they had come up with a new and interesting, did you try to do a jump snipe? If they would have done new and interesting, different beginnings like this for everyone.
Oh no!
Oh, you gotta get out of the corner! Oh my god, you get swamped. You know, you do have a rift and a super. Here, why'd you punch him?
These guys also did not exist in D1 Vanilla.
No, they did not.
When did they add exploding shanks? I forget.
I thought that was in the first or second expansion?
I want to save my super for the boss. I don't think I want to.
Yeah, let's go punch it.
Nope, not doing that.
Yeah, way better particle effects too.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no
And
question
we don't even have our 3080s yet.
So, question, when I came in, were you guys watching a video?
We were doing a split screen. We had video and live gameplay.
We have some videos of the old game from 2013, 2014 promo videos, our Let's Play videos and stuff like that. And so I was trying to do some A/B comparisons between this version and that version. But it's a little hard to do. It's a little hard to do live.
I was just knowing that some of the Destiny 2 footage also seemed to pause.
Yes, the finishing off the Exo Stranger quest stuff was also pre-recorded because that was about 4 hours of grinding a bunch of crap that I wanted to do,
there,
and I just wanted to show the dialogue and the rewards and stuff like that because we wanted to get through as much as we could in one session, and also do this.
Ah, gotcha. That's cool.
TV magic.
I wonder if I can get just the boss with my super.
Now, it's funny because this is kind of an equivalent to the first strike that you would get with Sepix.
I mean, it's a giant super. It's a giant servitor. It's not Sepix.
Not the same way. I mean, that whole strike was a whole unique experience, which you really aren't getting, sadly, but you're getting this instead.
The Sepix they're gonna put back in. All right, let's see if this.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Got him. All right. Good.
Oh wow, you got lucky. You killed my father, you bastard.
Alright.
Now don't you have to kill the other guy because... Oh no, they're actually counting him. Oh, and it spit out bricks.
Okay, so that gave us a power weapon. That gave us a rocket launcher.
Rocket launcher, yay, finally. So yeah, so is this your first
Yeah, first power weapon.
First yeah, heavy, okay.
But it's not the Eyes of Tomorrow.
I still don't remember what weapon that was.
Wouldn't that be awesome if you could actually get a Gallahorn out of that chest, man? That would have been awesome.
No, Gallahorn is not in the game.
Okay, well, according to this, the Eyes of Tomorrow is an exotic rocket launcher, and
yes, it's the Gallahorn Part 2, basically.
Is it?
Well, yeah, because it has the multiple projectiles that all snake around and target things and whatnot. You know, similar to the wolf rounds that the original G-Horn had.
And the only reason I know about it is because I saw an advertisement for one.
Really? I thought you were reading Wikipedia. He's playing Reddit right now.
Okay, alright. So I gotta go back to Shawhan and I gotta kill stuff with my super.
Speak with Shaw. See, now this just makes me want to have D1 on the PC. That's all this does.
I do want D1 on the
D1
PC.
envy.
If they released it, I would buy it. I mean, call me a sucker, but I probably would.
Well, I hate to say it, but I would probably be a sucker too.
Level 1 getting something out of a chest. Of course, I'm a level 1, but...
Yep. Look at it's the kindergartens.
Kindergartens don't really exist anymore, though, because there's no connection between light level and that number, because that number is now a season rank. So you could be season rank 1 and still be a max level guardian with a bunch of loot, you know, with a bunch of gear.
I have no way of making fun of them. But yeah, it just goes to show how awesome this game looked even back then. It just was not showcased in the best possible light, pardon the pun.
Because again, first of all, we started on 360, not
yes,
on Xbox
which
One.
I, to this day, regret completely.
We're just gonna go talk to Sean.
Yes, I was wondering how long you were gonna milk that. And you thought we wouldn't be able to make it to 3 hours.
Well, we took longer on the recap stuff than I thought.
I knew we would. So, how long before you strike, or is that next?
According to that schematic you found, the power grid here is linked to a dormant comms array.
Oh, here we go.
That array should be pulling plenty of juice from the grid, but it's offline. If we spin it up, it might stop the overload and get us to the superconductor. Trick is, we need to be at 2 places at once to reboot. The array itself and the power station. To top it off, Navota is still out there, so you need to watch yourself.
Not really.
I'm not losing any more Guardians today.
Where did you see them last? So now we get our first legendary. And actually, like, this is a scout rifle that my regular characters are using as their
this is
primary
what
weapon.
Not only you use, but also, what's the expansion? What's the iconography, I forget which is which, but that's a totally different era.
Yep.
Than this. So this isn't period specific.
This is a D2 weapon.
I know, but which expansion did this one come out for? This was the little wedge ships.
Don't remember.
Coming?
I think. I'm not
remember.
sure. Maybe Shadowkeep.
Okay, so if it was Shadowkeep, yeah, this is way current.
Yes, this is a current weapon, basically.
Weird. Okay. Still haven't hit 1060 yet. But you have been leveling up quite rapidly.
Affirmative.
I mean, remember when milking stuff took forever just to get to 10 extra levels?
So much more.
Alright, so yeah, so now it's sending us again back up to the top of the hill there, but beyond that to the next zone. Do we have a sparrow? No. So I guess they are really holding you to, you don't get a sparrow until you get to the tower. Which is pretty sensible, if you ask me. I mean, it makes sense.
Well, it does kind of, you know, extend the gameplay artificially, but, you know, it also means you go looking for those heavy pikes.
Yeah, it will make the world seem bigger to you.
Bigger.
Right? And then once you've been forced to do... Oh,
public event!
Should we bother with public event?
We totally should not.
Let's not do that.
No, let's not.
All Guardians in the field.
Now, if we were doing D1 again, I'd say yes, but we're not.
I love it. So Zaval is giving you instructions before you've met him, before you know.
Yeah, we don't know who this guy is. Who the heck is this on the channel?
Because I'm pretty
That's
sure
a bad introduction.
The old announcements used to be done by Ghost, right? So that would make sense.
think so.
Or your Ghost is telling you what's going on, not Vanguard people you've never heard of.
Zavala.
Although, again, in the original experiments, we would have gone to the tower already.
Yep.
Because you get the ship without a jump drive, and that lets you go to locations on Earth. You only need the jump drive to get to other planets. But this one, we don't have a ship at all, so we can't go anywhere. And we don't have a Sparrow at all, so we have to walk everywhere. And there's only one fast travel point. So they've sped things up in some ways by pushing a lot of the mission objectives together, and then they've slowed it down by making you take longer to do them.
Mm-hmm. Which, from a gameplay development standpoint, I'm sure was fine.
Yeah, and of course this uses the new quest system, right? So it's like we don't
Which
launch
means
it
they
from
just
the
put
map.
the flag
you have
here.
to navigate to a place and then start the flag, and the flag's going to respawn you in the same area, but in a new instance.
That I'm not a fan of.
Me neither, to be honest.
Boy, poor Funkmoun's going to be confused. You going to answer him in Discord?
Well, he said he was only going to be here for a minute, and that was
He's probably gone.
10 minutes ago, so I assume he's
not
there.
I was just wondering.
He was only here for
he
a
would not
Linux,
even know
which
this unless he goes back and plays this, which he won't do, so I just find that
which
hysterical.
is a Linux minute, of course.
We need to get that array operational to balance the power grid. I can reboot it from the station out here, but not while the systems are in lockdown.
How can we help?
Find the central terminal. You can patch me in from there.
And so this is technically your first introduction to the Hive.
Oh, well, no, we fought Hive in a bit. I think it's the first one where we see a bunch of knights.
Right, but in an actual mission as opposed to them just running around in a hallway. Because, I mean, yeah, you see a couple of the little scrubs, but, you know, these are the, first knights, dropships, their weapons, punching them in the face. I mean, this is the first real mission-oriented thing. Yeah, there were no knights coming out of that room. All you got is a couple, cursed whatchamacallit.
Yeah, the only taste you get of the truly slow D1 pacing is that first mission where like vandals and dregs like take 5 minutes to aim at you.
But yeah, cursed thrall is like the worst thing that you run into there.
This is a Golden Age facility.
Yeah, that's a sniper too close.
Years ago. It's amazing parts of it are still functioning.
Well, they built those things to last. Yeah, I know, you thought so for a second. I was like, oh no, this is a sniper. The same hallways we've been running down for almost a decade.
Right, so again, this arc room that we've already been here.
If Shaw's right, activating the array should stop
Looks
this
so
arc
much
energy
nicer.
from overloading.
Now this is what I object to.
What?
Because in D1 Vanilla, after you got the ship, and then you got a jump drive for the ship, which would let you leave the system, but before you could do that, you needed to...
The Hive nest in the shadows, but they'll be on the move soon enough. The Fallen are territorial, more concerned with survival than war, but the Hive live for conflict. In their minds, all things have to earn the right to exist through victory in combat.
So Ghost is actually giving us deep lore now.
Yeah, I know. Okay, but see, I like that that's in the game, and it kind of makes me sad it wasn't there to begin with. But see, those are the kind of details that I don't think they've taken advantage of with Ghost or other things, where that stuff is buried in lore and not in game.
Yes.
Now it's in. So thank you, Bungie. You've done exactly what I want. I just wish you started 5 years ago.
Yeah, and I think the low level of discoverability, the idea that you have to dig to find that stuff, like it is in Dark
not just
Souls,
dig. You
where
have to
all of
discover,
it's
because
optional.
those elements in lore are not all found at the same rate, at the same time, or at the same event for all players. You literally have to go find it, and it has to be revealed, and then you have to go look it up. But if you don't have it, there's nothing to look up.
I think it makes sense in Dark Souls, partly because you're also looking at like a post-apocalyptic or post-apocalyptic world, but like
almost every character you meet in Dark Souls is undead / insane. It makes sense that nobody, like nobody sits you down and tells you, okay, man, here's the sitch. There's these people, and it's like this. And even if they do, they're doing it from a very twisted perspective of their own.
Let me sum up.
So yeah, so here it's like, yeah, Ghost is like, yeah, the Fallen, they're like this, and the Hive here like this, and you never get that clear a presentation early in the game.
We never got it in D1. I wish we did.
Nope.
Deca says, yeah, Control certainly handles lore better. Yes, I totally agree with you, Deca. I could not agree with you more. I adore the way that Control handles lore and, explains in the game story elements you find out as you play. I wish that was in Destiny. I really do.
That was Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was just saying that Control has a very unique way to tell its story. I was quite impressed.
I cannot tell you how much I adore Control, and when we finally get some real high-end video cards, I want to actually do it.
Copy the SCP website, but I do like the way they handle lore as well. I mean, like, I'm not bad.
They did it beautifully.
We're blocked.
I don't remember them locking this door. I think this is new.
Yeah,
no, this is new.
I'm on it. Sit tight.
Great, now we have to defend. Oh, there's something also that wasn't in D1.
Stay in one piece. I'll have you out soon.
What, the dancing? Dancing was...
No.
What do I have for emotes?
No, the waiting for him to lock stuff and guard things this early.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, that was not necessary at this point.
No, Ghost always unlocked the doors and you just waited for him to unlock them and that was it. Or you had to kill things to get to the door to unlock it. But that was it.
Hey, is that snakeskin camo for that gun?
Yes,
maybe?
it is. Yes, it is. That's snakeskin. I love the fact that the detail is getting enough so... Oh, what did you do that for?
Because I had a bounty to kill things with a super.
Oh.
Like, that was in no way necessary.
Totally a waste on, especially Cursed Thrall. All you had to do was shoot one of them.
I'll probably have it again before this mission ends.
We can only hope.
Got it. Door's been power cycled. Getting a little spicy on my end.
Do you need turned it on and off?
I can take the heat, but I'm pinned down. I need you to make a splash. Cause some mischief. Get the brood to clear out of here.
What kind of mischief?
How about the loud
I don't know, shoot some stuff.
The Hive are drawing power from that ritual.
Yeah, no,
if you have to ask what kind, you haven't been paying attention.
So now they're tutorializing another bit. Like this bit was introduced in what? In the Mars activity? What was the Mars activity called?
It was way later. So yeah, this is kind of like D1 on fast forward.
This is escalation protocol.
Keep it up.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Hive contacts increasing.
And now it's like, there's a yellow bar over there. Kill it. All right. Stand still. Well, that sniper's stability is garbage.
That got a response.
It's weird that this public event is happening in the background, so all of this is twice.
No, it's not weird because that's exactly what the old stuff was like, where you'd be doing something randomly and all of a sudden a public event through it. So that to me is totally Destiny in a nutshell. You're trying to do something and the game's trying to do something else.
There's also some weird kind of bug where you end up getting pegged for joining the same public event multiple times.
Really?
Like you could play an event and it'll say you joined it like 3 times. Like the first time you join it, you join it. And the second time you join it, you join it. And then when it goes heroic, you join it again.
Now, what about the hidden room? Yeah, you going down to see the hidden room again?
Down here.
Yeah, what's in this room? Because there used to be a big ugly guy. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No snake skin for the rocket launcher?
And yeah, he's immune. I cannot even hurt him, so...
Wow,
bye.
yeah, he's double question marks.
Bye.
Mid metal.
Oh wow, nice. You got a lot of yellow bar knights around here. Oh, and he has a sword. Oh, is he? Oh, he must have wandered over here from the public.
But now this is also your first introduction to swords.
Just sword, yeah. This is the first sword I've had, yeah. It's probably gonna time out before I can kill anything with it.
Probably. You gotta go. You're 87%. You gotta go defeat more hive with it. Take that. And this. And the other thing.
Now, technically, I actually get this loot because I joined that event, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Clear. Get out of there before you're overrun.
But I'm not finished killing hive.
No, it says I'm finished.
I think some of your friends, their killing counted.
That's possible, yeah. How long was it in D1 before we got a swords? Like adding swords was a big deal. It was not.
That was not until an expansion or two. Yeah, we did not get
swords,
them out right.
particularly composite swords, was something that was in the press release for Halo 1 . Swords are supposed to be in Halo 1.
Doing is working.
Wasn't the first sword
They aren't pulling enough juice. Get to the control room and reboot
a weapon that was only available for hunters? Because the hunters had, or it was just, no, wait a minute, I'm confused. There was a hunter-only sword, there was a warlock-only scout.
Yeah, there were some class-specific weapons.
Yeah, class-specific stuff. But was that the only sword at the time, or were there other swords as well?
I think they were just general swords.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember whether the regular swords came in or whether the disposable.
Or was that a Taken King thing?
Swords came first.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
All right, so here we are.
Narc's favorite strike.
My favorite mission. Unfortunately, though, it's been robbed of a lot of its context and importance.
Well, not only that, but also, did the mechanics change?
No, the mechanics don't change, but just the meaning
I wasn't sure
of them
if the progress was
for instance,
weirder.
so these installations still exist, and right now they are closed and off, and we're going to turn them on. Except that turning them on supposedly connected the Cosmodrome to installations on other planets in a way that allowed us to leave Earth and go first to the moon and then, Mars and Venus.
Right, and wasn't it somewhat instrumental in connecting Rasputin to things?
Right. And whereas here, it's just to open up the wall where the sparky stuff is so that we can get in there and get a weapon, which I'm pretty sure is Thunderlord. I think they just give you Thunderlord. It's just the same. Oh, hey.
Yeah, kind of reduced the scope slightly.
What are you doing?
He's eating my bullets, that's what he's doing. Are you afraid he's going to sneak up on you?
Now, I'm trying to remember. When we do the mission in D1, though, we don't approach from that side, do we? Do we approach from the...
Yeah, we do. We come in here, we turn it on, and then we have to go out...
There's the control panel.
But I thought we approached from this direction. And probably you can't take the full loop in this version because one of the zones is missing.
Yeah, there's two different missions, but the first one, I think this is right, where we have to go to the corner and start the...
Because I thought basically what you did, you came up from this side. and you come to this area first, and you have to turn it on, just like I do now. And
well, no,
then,
see, one of it works at one way, and the other one works at the other.
yeah,
so,
but this one is the one that worked that way, where basically you came out, and so the reveal of this vista with the arrays opening up behind it is what you see.
Yeah.
Whereas what we
They
just done now
may
is that we came by and we saw that
approaching-
first.
yeah, he may be approaching it differently. I honestly would have to go back and check. It was 6 years ago.
Accessing systems.
That skeleton is still there, though. He hasn't moved an inch.
Systems and verify the security
After
lattice.
all these explosions.
Breach layer restored. Master array launch queued.
All right then. Rerouting power your way.
So it's funny, we're doing the technically the same thing, but
Doing the
for
same
not only
mission
different reasons and different
for
results.
a totally different reason.
Yeah. It's weird. Which is funny because since we already did it, those dishes would have already been deployed. So... eh?
And now literally they draw you to this point to see, look at this.
It's operational.
Before the mission starts.
Yep. Now how those didn't get hacked by the Fallen, I have no idea.
Shaw? What did... Detecting a large hive swarm incoming.
Shauna.
The array's signal is too powerful. It's drowning our comms. We're on our own. Hive tomb ships.
Now, this presentation is far more obvious than the other one. I mean, you could have gone through the entire mission and not even actually seen them deployed, so...
Also, the music didn't start, which I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm not
I
hearing
think
it.
maybe I took too long to push the button over there. But there's supposed to be
timed
music,
out?
and the music is the original music.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. That's really
that seems
weird.
rather simple. Hmm.
Oh man, I mean, this was the centerpiece of the whole presentation. It's gone.
Aww. I have to cue it up for the credits. Wait, when did you get a copyright strike or something?
No. This is eerie. I've never played this mission without music on. It's really weird.
It's funny, I don't play Destiny usually with music on at all. I find it distracting.
Oh, that brings up a question.
Yes.
It's actually in theme. Did you guys play Marathon with music or without?
I usually played it with, but again, I don't play Marathon,
There was a
enough.
remix, and we played with the remix. It was
Yeah.
the guy from NASA who did the remix.
Because I've never played a single Marathon game with the soundtrack.
Wow, really? Okay. So you're like me as far as that goes. But yeah, I would suggest doing it on ones because, see, for that, I wouldn't find the music that distracting in that game as opposed to this one, because this one has a lot more going on more rapidly. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, when he said tomb ships, I'm like, so?
Well, again, to a new player, it's supposed to be a big deal.
No.
Music-
If the music was there, I wouldn't be like, oh, tomb ships, let's see what happens. But, since there was nothing but blank and there was after that, it's like, okay.
Yeah, there was no dramatic music to scare you with.
Yep.
Do you read? You still with
See,
me?
and even the thing here is, Mars
Is the same.
Moon,
Shouldn't have put you in
Venus.
that position.
So
When you dropped off comms, I thought...
We're all right, Shaw. The Hive are retreating. Did it work?
Checking. Looks like it. Levels are dropping across the grid. Just need to unlock the chamber now and we can finish this. Get back to camp before Novota makes another appearance.
but in this case, turning these, turning this thing on had nothing to do with
None.
getting to Mars, Venus, or the Moon. But in the original game, that's totally what it did, because
Yeah.
you were at the forefront of relinking this part of the world to the tower
It was
and
really
helping Guardians get off the planet.
Yeah, it was really important plot point that expanded the entire universe of the game for you and all the other players. You were pivotal.
And also one of the
Destiny's
best pieces
progress.
on the soundtrack.
Yes.
To be honest.
And better music. So wow, so that was the whole new introduction there. So now what happens?
I think we can get to the tower before it makes us do a raid. Excuse me, a strike. No, I still don't have the Sparrow.
Well, that's just it. I'm like, how are we supposed to get anywhere?
I think he's supposed to let us get to the tower now, and if we can do that, we'll end it.
Deca says, yeah, hence why they were on the monitors. Well, yeah, see, it makes sense for them to be on the monitors in D1. It makes no sense for those to be on the monitors now.
I was actually chatting with Cody before we started here, and I was like saying, like, Destiny 1 got rightfully dinged for having an incomplete and fragmented story, but it looks like genius compared to what goes on now.
Yeah, that's just it. It's like, oh my god, they're so skipping. It's like everything's on fast forward.
Sorry. Oh, nice laptop, Joe.
Still not SDD. Or SSD, sorry.
I know this. This is Linux.
There's only one access key for that chamber, and I've got it on me. If I make it out, I look forward to working with you again.
I love how when you zoom in, the audio goes to hell.
Yeah, it mutes him, yeah.
Sparrow, take it,
Sparrow!
Get out of here. Get to the last city. Shahan, over and out.
How could he do this? Navota is still out there, and she already destroyed 2 Guardians. This is bad. Shaw said he took the only key, but he can't have searched the whole Cosmodrome. There has to be more. Let me check his archived location data. He was recently doing something out on the Forgotten Shore. Let's start searching there. Sending coordinates.
You could have just said that,
so
you know, Ghost?
this is your first Sparrow, and this is your first
so what is
thing
it?
with it. Okay.
Wayfarer Delta 140.
I have a similar model still that's a 160 that is literally the exact same design.
I guess they want you to visit all the locations in the Cosmodrome they put in before they let you leave.
You see mine? this check this out, dude. This is the one that I'm rocking right now.
Hold on.
I'm gonna zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, hold on. There we go.
There you go.
Athwart the Void.
This is literally
You're
the
such an
exact same
Athwart.
design. I have not changed this Sparrow in forever.
Really?
This is my default. Yeah, this is my default. I see they're cosmetic. I see no reason to change or to do anything different than this.
I don't know. I at least want one that like reloads my weapons or something.
No, this one has increased transmat speed and expert turn tuned NLS providing best possible performance.
I know what they did is they did nerf the whole summons faster thing now, because basically they're like, yeah, all Sparrows do that now.
Yeah,
so you
that's
don't
one that
need
I
to
had
pick
before.
A Sparrow that spawns faster.
No, this is transmat speed and performance. So, but again, that's it. No, I was never crazy about aesthetic Sparrow hunting. It's like, ooh, I gotta find this one that looks cool, and this one looks like... Nah, I just wanted it to spawn fast and go fast.
Hello?
Yes.
Just checking. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a black screen. It's loading.
Did you drop your mic?
I can't reach Shaw on comms. If Navota gets to him first, we need to find another key and access that chamber, fast. There's some old caches nearby. Let's start there. No key, but I'm detecting residual particles consistent with cache alloys. There were more chests here once. They must have been stolen by Fallen or Hive. There's a particle trail leading to a nearby cave. Sending coordinates now.
So wait, go back to your chest for a second.
Weapons already.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you highlight your chest thing there for a second?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. It's 1069. Nice.
And when he says there were a lot more chests here, is he talking about loot chests?
Yes.
I guess. Oh, and the bug is still active.
The bug with the sparrows won't despawn. They're still here. I love it.
That's great.
I love it. Oh my god.
So I was like, this is probably the first game I think to acknowledge a loot chest.
As a loot chest. Oh yeah, it first level, first mission, they say, hey, that's a fallen cache. Let's steal it. Deca says, yeah, oblique reference to a D1 dungeon. Stolen chests.
Still no key. I'm reading 2 other particle trails on my tracker.
Boop gun.
Dark's favorite.
Well, we forgot to check out the loot cave when I was there.
Oh yeah.
Check your weapons.
Actually, is Randall
I'm
still
reading
there?
A cluster of hive bioenergetics.
Yeah, the loot cave is still there, and it still has the little audio prompt when you.
Now, okay, all right. Now here's my question: is the expansion? Yeah, you have no ammo, dude. You change weapons, you don't have any ammo for the boop gun. Oh, that was a waste.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's some green right there.
Ah, there's some encryption code on this data.
No, to the left, on the other side of the chest, dude. There's green.
If we find
there.
more, I could fake the
There you go.
authorization and
Why
act
is
as a
that
key
there?
myself. There's still one more cache.
Obviously, it was guarding the chest. No, I'm
Yes?
curious as to whether the Rasputin entrance is open now. Are there any of those knights guarding it like
does
before?
not exist in this version of the
Well-
Cosmodrome. In fact, we go
well,
up
that's what
there
I
and look,
mean.
I'll show you.
I'd be curious. Okay.
Careful. I'm detecting a high density of fallen weapon signatures nearby.
Density.
Just if any of the entrances are anything even remotely there. What's a solar boot gun?
Yeah, void is usually my preference, but you know.
So are the stairs even there, or the door, or anything, or?
I'll show you.
Yeah. I'd be curious how they pulled that off. It's normal because oh, there's nothing there.
Just covered with a plate.
Wow, cheesy, but okay, I get it. And what about around the corner? Is there anything? Can you even drive over there, or they? Because you could take a Sparrow to the other ones, to the other section, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you even do that now?
A bunch of the other location, Rocket Yard, is not accessible at all. There's just
This
a
has
door
enough code fragments for me to
that
generate
covers
a new
the
authorization.
that
I
area.
need to boost my signal for the key to register, though. I'm reading a concentration of energy in the moth yards. Might be what we need.
I don't need to
Get the
moths.
mothballs.
Oh, Phil Mysterious in chat says, yeah, Density was the original name before they decided on Destiny. You are my density. Oh, did it glitch?
Can't get on the Sparrow anymore. Okay,
Oh, it
whatever.
glitched in the water. I love it. Bug report. 6 years.
And
6 years.
Where's Randall?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Isn't he over by the cave?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, be on the boat. Keep going. Keep going. Right there. Yeah,
He's
is that
there.
him?
Yeah, that's him.
Wow, recommended 1200.
The shank is what killed me, but I think the shank next to him is also like a higher level
Yeah.
than usual.
Okay. So yeah, what about the path beyond the boat? Can you even go down that way?
Yeah,
the left.
see, look,
That's-
question mark.
Oh my god. Yeah. So can you keep going?
Yeah, he's immune. He kills you instantly.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
he's got super shanks next to him, which I'm pretty sure was not the case. Like, I don't think Shank's
Damn.
next to Randall.
All right,
was
just speed
superpowered.
past him. Yeah, just keep past him. I want to see if we can get to that that other drop zone. Oh no, there's nothing here. Oh my
Yep,
god, they've
not there.
completely sealed it.
Yep.
Oh, with an invisible wall too.
Yep.
Damn, that's cold.
And it is the same situation if you try to go to
The Jovian complex entrance?
No, if you go to the divide down here, where normally
Yeah.
there would be an area where you could loop around, it's closed.
Yes.
So the whole
You can't.
Rocket Yard area, which should be down there, is just not in the game right now. They're adding it later.
Wow. So sad. Yeah, you know what's funny, Phil? I actually had an idea of coming up with a whole joke version of it called Density, where you actually take the Destiny symbol and reverse it so it looks like a penis.
Ew, no.
Oh, that's what I should have done
no,
for
that would be
Space
awesome.
Professionals. I should have flipped the tricorn upside down.
Yes! Yes, it looks like a dick. Funk would have loved that. And it's weird being introduced to this section of the common room where you're actually going through it backwards.
And there used to be a cave
up there by the waterfall, yeah.
As far as I can tell, I think the cave still exists, but there's nothing in it. There used to be a chest.
Yeah, there used to be a chest. Bummer.
They've moved the regional chests are not in the same place as they used to be.
Yeah.
This area's full of ionized superconductor energy. It must have dispersed when we activated the array. I can use this to amplify my signal. Let's collect the charges.
They literally did the old catch the energy pulse.
We need to hurry.
Patrol.
Yeah, but it's a different
mission, and
design.
yes, and now
It's a different implementation. Okay.
Yes.
So same thing, just looks different. No dia. Yeah, this cave's still full of bad guys. Phil Mysterious says, yeah. Blackstar, I think they would have attracted the type of audience you don't want on your streams. Oh, no, it wasn't going to be an accurate representation. It was just supposed to highlight that if you simply rotate that icon, it can take on a whole new meaning. Trust me, we'd never do anything, shall we say, graphic here on Rampancy.net.
Here we go. Starting recursive analysis.
Funk is about as graphic as we get.
Thread complete. I am now authorized. Let's
That's true.
hurry.
He makes anything we would do pretty much redundant.
Oh, I think we have a bot.
Do we?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
Hello, bot. Thank you for joining us.
Low lift.
We haven't had a bot in a long time. That's awesome.
Oh, fucking pikes. Normally I wouldn't care, but frankly, they would probably kill me dead at this level.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're so low, and they've actually gotten much more lethal since some adjustments. Yeah, go up the shortcut. You know, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that so many changes over such a long period has kind of muddled everything together where we can't remember in order what things have happened or when.
It's
Sign
time
of just getting
plus,
old, I
plus
guess.
the repetition.
Oh, well, that's
where
just it,
You've done
you
it
know?
a bunch of times, and it slightly changes a bunch of the times. You don't notice every one of the changes.
Nope. And we could get a PhD calculating how many times we've run that in these damn hallways.
Right. Okay, so now
On
we're
3
here,
separate
and there's
consoles.
No sparking.
Nope, nope. Spark gone.
And we get hive traps.
Is that a hot tub?
Tutorialized for us.
That's an old school Destiny joke.
And a door to open with the hive seal on it.
It's got the hive seal of approval.
This place is brimming with hive magic. That explains why transmats were blocked.
I think we need something with a larger brim. Oh, wait a minute. Is this new, or are we just approaching something backwards?
Eyes up, Guardian.
Quick, Vooper!
I'm trying.
Vooper harder!
Probably shouldn't have used my super on those two.
No,
knights
use your
again.
rockets. I know. Why did you do that? I never understood that. Oh, we're gonna get swamped. Don't get caught in the trap. That actually could really mess you up. Okay, the music's here. We're getting music now.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the last one didn't.
Well, I'm so sorry. I know you were looking forward to that. Oh, nice shot, Red 2. Jesse Death Metal.
Oh.
Oh, you missed. Is it not a tracking rocket? Actually, did blues even track? That's a good question.
I don't think so.
Phil Mysterious says, yeah, speaking of funk being graphic, his original name was Hookmon, but the Japanese developer changed it because they were worried the American teenagers would change his name to a different word on the arcade cabinet.
I can't detect her anymore. But I've got a lock on Shaw's ghost.
She's the legally distinct Omnigul replacement, so she doesn't die here because she's still the strike boss. And we're just down here to revive Shaw.
Shaw, are you all right?
What?
Are you not dead anymore?
What are you doing here?
Saving your ass.
We couldn't let you do this alone.
Navota?
She's still alive. Somewhere. We did enough to force her to retreat.
You fought her off?
Yeah, we rocketed her in the boobs.
I'm sorry I left you behind.
Well, you suck,
Cass and
so...
Maeve. I was just afraid to lose anyone else.
So were we. That's why we followed you.
Nobody likes to be sidelined. I'm glad you were here. I owe you. The prize is yours. Superconductor is over there. Grab it and meet back at camp. For real this time.
You got saved by a blueberry. How do you feel?
Well, according to this music, I should feel jolly.
Mm-hmm.
Chuffed, one might say.
There's the superconductor. Let's finish the job. I can feel the arc light coursing through this. No wonder the Vanguard want to make a weapon with it.
Don't do too much. You'll go
back
blind.
To camp and then the last city, home.
This is some nonsense. This is literally like we stuck a MacGuffin in the wall. Go get it.
Go get the MacGuffin. Phil says, yeah, and in case if anyone doesn't get that last joke, it's basically the story of Pac-Man's name. I got it. I think I'd heard that a while ago. I think there was a YouTube video about that.
Hey. Thanks for the assist. Again. Wish you stumbled in a day earlier. Might have gone differently. Maybe Cass and Maeve.
Yeah, wouldn't be dead.
I'm just glad the light chose you. I've got new orders to stick around and scout Navota's brood. Maybe I'll find some other new lights to shepherd along. As for you, it's time you meet Commander Zavala. He leads Guardian Ops from the last city. I've told him you'll be arriving soon with a superconductor, so take care of that thing. No dents or scratches. Zavala's a great leader and a good person. Learn from him. And don't be a stranger. Guardians are stronger together, right?
Besides, the Stranger's arc's finished.
Exo.
Now, is it literally called The Last City?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Kind of
Destiny's
obvious.
story is drawn in broad strokes, as they say.
Really broad.
Like, the story is literally a conflict between light and dark.
And dark. And when I heard that, I immediately face-palmed. It's like, really?
I'm just making sure, because at least they're being consistent at this point.
Oh, no, they're quite consistent.
Humanity was so much more. Once.
And I hate the fact that you were just given a ship here.
Yeah, I mean, it was much better when you found one in the world and got in it, and everyone's looked the same because it was this one, because that's the one that was there, and there was a big strong guy on top of it, and you had to kill him. I mean,
that was way cooler, and you had to find a warp drive for it. You had to
pocket.
Yeah, you had to repair and steal it. You had to kill a bad guy to get the warp drive to put in it. Way cooler as far as that goes. And he's like, oh, here's a new ship. In fact, you know what they should have done? This is a missed opportunity. What they should have done if they wanted to give you a new introduction to it is you had to go find and repair the crashed one in that part of the Cosmodrome. Remember the one that was there that they said was Shaw's ship or whatever? That should have been yours.
Or, yeah, exactly. They could have just said, like,
that would have made sense.
Go take that ship over there. It's mine. I'll get a new one. Don't worry.
The last survivors of humanity's collapse call the city home.
Well, it is the Arcadia class, so
this is why
at least
I
they get
brought
that
you
right.
back. To defend them. to reclaim our lost worlds. We're here. The Traveler. The last city.
See, there you go.
Welcome home.
Does it have an old building?
All the buildings are old. What are you talking about?
Control joke.
Ah.
Oh yeah, I mean,
he's being funnies.
I am remembering that, right? The setting of Control is the old building.
the oldest building.
The oldest house.
The oldest
but yeah.
building.
The oldest house.
Oldest.
Yeah.
The oldest house.
Oldest house, yeah. That's why I didn't get that for a second. I'm like, is he talking about?
This isn't even the same
Welcome to
tower we were in.
And the last safe city of humanity. I've been here many times over the years. I'm glad
With
you
many
finally
guardians.
get to see it. To see why we're here.
Yeah,
and what we need
notice-
to protect. Let's start
This is
by
way
registering your
different.
jump ship.
Yeah, but notice they like it would always be understood that like your ghost is looking for a new guardian because under some circumstances he lost the last one, but every guardian we've seen has died only because a ghost was destroyed. So
yeah.
how does that work? What situations in which a guardian is lost but the ghost has survived? Because that doesn't exist as far as we know.
Maybe he's been in Spider's back pocket this whole time. Oh, and the first person you meet is Amanda?
Well, you start in the hangar and you're
Oh,
supposed
wow,
to
and
check in your ship and your Sparrow.
The only thing she says is, eh?
Yeah,
Wow.
actually, her and Ikora are barely in this.
Wow. Okay, that's definitely a different introduction.
No, yeah, there's no commitment to do what's necessary to get these specific voice actors in to read this stuff.
Wow.
It's not part of their release schedule, not
Weak
part of the
sauce.
budget, whatever it is. So,
oh please, they could have called up on a phone.
Take care of yourself here.
Nice, isn't it? It's good to have somewhere that feels like home. For me, this is it. Okay, next up is tower security. We've had an increase in Guardians sneaking in contraband since a fellow called the Drifter arrived. So Vanguard Command instituted a check for first-timers.
Does the Drifter have a friend called the Wanderer?
Some warnings. I'm clearing it with
Drifter
security.
doesn't have any
no,
friends.
Commander Zavala would
that
like to
person
meet you
plays
in
Fallout.
person. I'll lead you to him. Zavala leads the entire Vanguard, the group that supports all Guardian operations. Lately, he spends more time commanding troops than fighting on the front lines. But he placed some of the first stones in the wall we're standing on.
So what is this? The tower equivalent of TSA?
The
What?
city is his responsibility.
Yes, yeah. I have to take
Even
my
a
shoes
Guardian
off.
has trouble bearing that kind of weight. He's going to need your help.
Now, notice it's not the dawning in this tower, although maybe the
No.
dawning is over by this point, but this
there in
is
the
a
sky,
normal vanilla tower,
that's
and there's
the
no
Traveler.
other
It's
player
where I
guardian.
came from, where the light you wield came from.
Well, there is this nonsense, though, but...
Are you
Hey,
here?
Titans forever.
Ah, it's you. The one that saved Shaw. Thank you for that. Your ghost has been looking for you for a long time. I'm glad he finally found you. And now you found the light. The Traveler entrusted us with this power so that we may protect our people from the forces that threaten our existence. You've carried out that duty from your first steps in the Cosmodrome. I don't take Shaw's recommendation lightly, but you have much to learn, and the conflict with the darkness is unyielding. We will analyze the superconductor you recovered. In the meanwhile, I've left you something in my office. Use it well.
I think Question Deck says, "Behold, the forced exposition gate." Certainly feels that way, doesn't it? Deca also says, "Yeah. Also assume all the prior guardians for this ghost fell to darkness or committed
You should take
suicide."
that as a compliment. I've marked his office.
Yeah, they
on
couldn't
your
stand his
tracker.
dialogue anymore.
Careful not to break anything in there, and don't touch his music.
Damn, she can talk.
I totally want to touch his music now.
Swear it was right here.
No! As far as I can tell, this elevator is broken. I think it's supposed to rise to you when you enter the zone, but instead it goes away. It's there and then it goes away. And so I've seen a bunch of people just try to jump on it
Accidentally
and
fall
the
down?
ship and die. Yes.
That's awesome. Imagine you not paying attention and accidentally completely falling off. And
Dark
obviously they
Souls
don't believe in
also
OSHA here.
Solves this by having either levers you can pull or a see where did why?
Don't fall down. That would break my effing heart. Oh, and you still don't go down the stairs. Everybody just jumps off of that.
Nope. Yep.
Ikora Rey is the Warlock Vanguard. She leads the tower's warlocks, like Zavala leads the Titans. She does a little bit of everything. Guiding
no
the
Hawthorne.
warlock orders in research and development, enemy reconnaissance, and internal affairs.
And she's really big into musical
She's a
theater.
sight to see in the Crucible.
I've never seen her in the Crucible.
There is always a path.
She needs more hair.
Yes, Guardian.
And no dialogue. Yes, Guardian.
Wow, that's the most we get out of her. Now, my question is, are we going to see Hawthorne, and is she going to say the exact same thing? Goes,
No.
wow, feed the Cabal, beat
Carry
the...
No,
Always
Hawthorne
nice to see Ikora. While
is
we're over
not
here,
here.
we should check in with the Drifter. You may
Oh,
be
look at that!
wondering who
No
leads the
Hawthorne!
hunters. See, we lost Kate 6, our hunter vanguard, a while back. Killed by a man named Uldren Sov. It was a difficult time. Now no hunter wants to take his place.
Yeah, who wants to stay at the tower and do paperwork? No hunter wants that.
Oop.
I am so lost.
Is it dead end?
Well, yeah, you went down the wrong hallway.
So yeah, Ikora Rey gets no lines, but the Drifter?
What's up, hero?
Well, sort of. It's like, what's up, idiot?
Yeah, who the F are you? What are you, the end of the world?
Is there a fast travel?
See,
Now
the
we have
thing
to
about
go
Drifter
back
is
to Shaxx.
He's
Nope,
unique.
no fast travel!
Let's leave it
Nope.
at that.
Watch your back out there, sister.
That's annoying. What about Ada? Is Ada down here?
No, Ada's gone.
Most disappointing character ever. I was so looking forward to Ada being awesome and cool.
You don't think Ada was awesome and cool?
No. I so disliked everything about her character, how that whole upgrade and system went, the whole basketball weapon BS, all of it, and her whole, I know the Guardians because my mommy, no.
I also think.
no.
Oh, and
I
no
also think
tour of the
Benedict
tower
is gone.
would be complete without meeting Lord Shaxx.
Is he dead?
Shaxx is in charge of live fire drills and general combat training for Guardians. It all happens in the Crucible, where Shaxx oversees battles of light versus light.
Where people kill each other for no readily apparent reason.
You're alive, Guardian.
No, nobody dies in the Crucible.
Yeah, they do. They just get brought back. This still doesn't mean it doesn't hurt.
True.
Even steel needs sharpening.
Isn't Shaxx something? When he's not yelling, he plays dodgeball with the children of the city. He, yells during that, too. Anyway, Zavala's asking us to visit the gunsmith next. His name is Banshee44, our resident firearms expert.
Who doesn't actually, well, make firearms. And don't dare ask him for anything custom.
Guardian.
He won't remember.
Need something?
Yeah, real
Guardian.
gunsmith. Know any?
No dialogue here either for him.
Nope. Well, it doesn't matter. He'd forget it anyway. Yeah, question deck in the chat says, yeah, they're not even
Last
trying
stop
to
is
build a
Master
new one.
Rahul, the Tower Cryptarch. That's short for crypto-archaeologist.
He's the one that
Best cryptographers
divvies
are
out
never
disappointment.
known by name, only by quality of their
You
work.
glitch in the game.
No, if you push the stick really lightly, it doesn't do the animation, but you move anyway.
It just lies you around. Yeah, Deca says, yeah, it's kind of why Fallout is a
You'll
better setting. At
return
least someone
honor,
is trying to
Guardian.
rebuild. Yeah, see,
depending on which Fallout. Like Fallout New Vegas is very much a post-apocalyptic where society is being rebuilt, and it's not really that much about what civilization was like before. Whereas, say, Fallout 3 is more immediate post-apocalyptic because the area it's in is very devastated, and there's almost no rebuilding being done.
Yeah, he said the elevator was so unsafe it borked the stream temporarily. Yeah, they need to install safety gates or buttons. Yeah, they've got so many railings everywhere else. But yeah, one of my major issues with the game is that there does not seem to be any progress or implementation of bettering anything anywhere in anything you do.
Saying he has a mission ready for you. Check in with him if that sounds interesting, or we can just explore. In any case, I'm with you till the end. You take the lead.
Check in if you find anything interesting. Is that a challenge?
No, it's a desperate ray of hope. You hope something interesting will happen. It just never does.
Yeah. Okay. So the next thing he gives you is a strike. We're not going to do that. We're gonna end.
A Guardian Rises. Okay. Well, that was not only the dawning. In a nutshell, that was literally the introduction to the game. If you have never ever played this before, in a whole new and interesting way.
This bit plus
because
the strike,
guess what?
I think you get for free. If you're just willing to download it, you can play this far.
Yay! Who doesn't want to do that? Funk's in the chat again. He says, "Hold on, why were they talking about me about me being graphic? Oh, because I swore? No, we would never do that."
Well,
Take us as well, except for guns. And I was going to go ignoring you again. So, okay, all right. Last minute thoughts, feelings, exposition, concepts.
Stand with me, Guardian.
Wow, you can't even stand with them. You got to kneel.
If that's okay with you.
You look like you're posing for Christmas photos.
It's really nice to visit the Cosmodrome again, and I like they put that mission in. And when I played it the other time, the music worked, and that was cool. Although again, like I said, they've robbed that event of a lot of its context and significance because there's no Mars and Venus to go to. So
yeah, that's kind of sad.
Thread of getting a ship and getting it capable of going other worlds is cut out in service of this whole superconductor nonsense, which is kind of silly.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even immediately end up with you getting Thunderlord. I think maybe you need to do the quest. I think you do the strike and you come back and then it's there for you or something.
Probably. But also the whole acquisition of a whole new ship that seemed kind of weird. That could have been implemented differently.
It's cheapened.
But it was nice to see, and I hate to say it, but yeah, it gives me D1 PC envy.
Yep.
You know, it makes me wish, just put it again, guys. Get a small team together, convert it, install it, upgrade it, whatever. But yeah, that could be a fun time. Okay, well, listen, thanks everyone for tuning in. This has been a longer stream than usual. I was not expecting it myself, but we certainly hope you enjoyed. Please stay tuned for next Saturday. We're going to be doing Star Wars. That's right. I've got 3 games to go through, and we're going to be starting off with one that has controller support because the other ones were too hard to implement. So we're going to be doing Last Jedi, but the special version of this, we're going to be doing it as the Mandalorian. So stay tuned for that.
Black Star.
Yes?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Whatever. So anything else you guys want to say before we bail?
No, that's it. Just come back next week and we'll be playing Star Wars because we're done with Destiny for a while. I think the next thing I'd want to go on and do in Destiny is whatever expansion comes next, or if they do cross-play, to try and raid on the PC with people playing on the Xbox, because all the people I know who still play the game are still playing on the Xbox, except for you, me, Funk, and Malgate.
Yeah, sadly enough. Well, I'll have to go hunt down my PC friends. So, all right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. We certainly hope you enjoyed. I am Blackstar. He is Nargajan. He is JL. We are Rampancy, and we certainly hope to catch all of you next time. Thank you for watching.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.